On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, your hosts will guide you through the new Mando Mondays collectibles program, in addition to a newly revealed Hot Toys ESB figure, and a trailer for Tales from Galaxy's Edge. They'll then dive into the latest Mandalorian Season 2 rumors and speculations. Yes, they're talking about Boba stuff. They'll then discuss some actual Mando news involving confirmed seasons. Matt will recap the latest Vader and Star Wars 2020 comic book runs before the duo shifts into this week's fan segment, which includes a question about Star Wars Parentage, a BattleBot update, and of course, the top 5+1 Star Wars fan artist features of the week. Cue the music. Hey now, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Star Wars Time Show. Yes, we are live. We are streaming, even though no one is here to watch us be live and stream. What's going on? I don't know. The people aren't replying to our question of the week. Have we finally offended the audience to the point where they're like, you know what? Fuck these guys. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Nick and I are still here. It's Tuesday. We're strapped up. We're ready to rock and roll. And if you heard from the announcer, there is plenty of Mando talk to keep going this week. I mean, last week we had a fantastic powwow with the Mandalorian because we got the first trailer, the release date was confirmed, so on and so forth. There is our guy, Bossajan is here, just saying what the fuck. So hopefully that means he can hear us.
I assume that's I can hear you guys.
I got lazy today. I'm here. All right. We got Bossajan up in this motherfucker. All the Australians, they get up bright and early on Wednesday, in fact, to watch the Star Wars Time Show live on a Tuesday.
Motherfuckers.
That's why we love those prisoners in the land down under.
Yeah, in the fake country of Australia.
Right. We still have not proven it is an actual real country or continent at this point, but we do have fans in this mystery zone of the globe. Apollo's up in here, Plastic Picks. All right, so as you heard, if you tuned in at the beginning here, or I don't even know if you really ever hear the full show schedule because we don't know how the streaming works in terms of timing it up, going live, starting the stream, so on and so forth. But lots of Mando stuff to talk about today. Some of it poof flinging oriented, some of it very speculative. Others, I would say, take it to the bank style, right, Nick? So got some good stuff to talk about. And then, of course, we'll get into our fan segment, which, quite frankly, what's going on, my friends? What is going on? We are getting less and less interaction with our buddies and our homegirls on Instagram. All right, Nick's putting out the questions. He told me this week we only got 5 fucking responses. How lazy are you all? Seriously.
Very lazy from what it seems.
Right. I mean, I don't know like what types of votes we're getting on the battle bots, but I'm assuming that's gone down as well. So, I mean, shame on all of you. But it doesn't surprise me. There's a reason we are a middle-of-the-road to low-end Star Wars podcast, and that's because we reach people that don't really give a shit about exclaiming to the world, proclaiming to the world, if you will, how dumb of a show this is and why everyone needs to watch it. All right? So get to it. More ratings and reviews, too. You guys are terrible on that. And if you long haulers have done it, good for you. Start making fake accounts, get different IP addresses to kind of spoof the system, and leave some more, because we cannot get just the casual listeners to give us one fucking rating or review on this stupid-ass show.
Is telling you to do is to vote twice. Vote once by mail and then once in person.
Exactly. Thank you. We've got, there's no voter suppression efforts going on here. In fact, we will do anything we can to steal the limelight in Star Wars fan podcast land.
Yes.
All right, Nick. So we've just been kind of shooting the shit to start the show these days. A lot of times it is not even remotely related to Star Wars topics. And I kind of want to do that again because really over the past week since we last talked, there have been two huge, bigly launches or pre-order periods for consumers around the globe.
Yes, indeed.
You and I got mixed up in it. I think this is the one time in every 5 to 10 years you actually have to deal with a pre-order craze rush where us toy collectors and other collectible collectors, it's something we deal with randomly throughout the year. You know, hey, this toy's going live at this time. Go. And you're sitting there and fucking sites are crashing. Carts are fucking vomiting the content back out. And you're sitting there stressing out, getting ready to have a stroke because you're not going to get the new and shiny.
Yes.
Well, you and I, we both decided to dive headfirst into the PS5 pre-order period. We'll start there because you opted out of the Xbox Series X madness today.
I did. Yes.
So let's just talk about the PS5 thing. First and foremost, Sony turned it into a kind of a Chinese fire drill, right? Like,
yeah,
hey,
it was free for all.
Hey, we just had an event. We finally revealed the price, and pre-orders are going to start sometime today.
Yeah, soon-ish.
Literally, no exact time. It was just September 17th. Get ready. Shit's gonna be on sale. Where?
Yep.
Who knows? When? Who knows? It really was supposed to be on the 17th, but as we found out, Nick, what started to happen about 8 o'clock Eastern time on the 16th, his stores like Target, oh yeah, here, go ahead, we're selling it now a day early. Best Buy, hey, we'll put it up, but good luck checking out. Walmart sells out, Amazon sells out. I mean, before September 17th was even a reality, the day the PS5 was supposed to be available for pre-order, it was gone.
All the pre-orders were gone. And the way that I found out is, typically, on a late evening of the day, I'm just scrolling through Twitter and, I see it was either Jeff Keighley's account, the guy who runs the Game Awards and is a very big person in the gaming space. It was either him or another. I think it was IGN Deals. That's who it was. And then Keighley had retweeted it later. IGN Deals. Follow it on Twitter because they actually do give you some good game like sales and stuff like that. They posted 2 links on Twitter and they said, we're pretty sure that these are unpublished Amazon links for PS5 pre-orders, but they work. So they had the disc and the discless. And I clicked on it. Went through, checked out, boom, done. I was finished. I got it before I even knew that it was available, before Amazon actually made the listing public.
But just wait, there's a Nick caveat to this story. This is the best fucking part.
But this also happened to everybody who got it on Amazon. So because I saw it pop up later.
It doesn't matter. You're going to be the one that is affected. No one else will be.
So I get the pre-order in. I feel good. I send the link to Matt. It was like 11 o'clock.
He was like, I was like his little dog, and I made a bad move, and he was rubbing my nose and shit, basically. Because I did not get the PS5 on the clusterfuck night of the 16th. I'll tell my story when Nick's done. I did secure one, but. Nick's like, hey man, I think Amazon links are live. Don't worry, I already pre-ordered mine before I told you they're live. Which I've trained him to do that. I cannot fault him for that. And every one of us do the same thing. I know for a fact when Klondike sent out the pre-order links for the Phase 1 Lieutenant 501 Trooper from Walgreens in our Discord. See, you should be in Discord because that was a nice little tip. I had no idea they were live. But I know for a fact Big Joe probably already had his secured in the cart before he let us suckers know that the link was live. Nick did the same thing. But again, that is what you should do.
Yeah, you have to secure yours.
Right. Never help someone else out until you get yours.
Exactly. So I'm feeling good. I have my pre-order in.
Just wait.
2 days later,
just wait.
I get an email from Amazon. It says, regarding your pre-order. And I was like, oh, okay. What is this about?
Uh-oh.
So I read it and it says, due to the overwhelming volume of pre-orders for Sony PlayStation 5 disc edition. We may be unable to fulfill all pre-orders on release day.
Oh no.
So
say it ain't so, Nick. Say it ain't so. It's Darth Revan Take 2.
It may be Darth Revan Take 2. Now, the good thing is that one, they've acknowledged my pre-order. Two, they're not saying that I won't get it at all. They're just saying that it may not be a day one delivery. So I'm like, you know what? If I don't get it day one, I don't feel all that bad. At least I know it's secured. That was the only thing that I was worried about.
Wink, secured.
Yeah, maybe.
Like what day are they both coming out on the 12th of November, or is 110, 112? I'm pretty sure X Series X is the 12th.
I have to go back and look at Sony.
Maybe Sony's
I'm pretty
10.
sure they're the 12th. Like. They're close. I mean, they're close.
Hold on. Hey, internet machine.
Yeah, let's check it out.
PS5 launch date. Check this shit out, guys. I know how to do this. Yeah, they're both the 12th.
Yeah. So
holy fuck,
if
man.
You're getting both of them, then you have a lot of. Well, first you're going to have a lot of connecting to the internet and updating and all this other shit to do. Because if you remember. Like the PS4 release, you couldn't play the console for like 2 days after you got it. Like if you got it on release day, there were day one updates and all the other shit that you have to do with internet connected consoles, and you basically couldn't play it for 2 days.
So we'll see, because I'll be in that boat, because I actually scored on both as well. And my PS5, it just kind of, I guess you could say it was meant to be. For some reason, the past week, the capitalism gods were behind me. A lot of gods that have been created in this world aren't behind me, but the gods and goddesses of capitalism and greed were definitely shining their light on me this week, because while I did miss out on the PS5 on the clusterfuck night of the 16th, and I was resigned to the fact that, hey, you know what, I missed it. I mean, when it comes down to it, I only get worked up over these releases now because of the FOMO OCD.
Yeah.
Let's be real. I'm not a fanboy of either console. I own both. I will own both. I like Microsoft. I like Sony. I mean, that fanboy shit's weird. Neither console has anything truly worth playing on day one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure any game coming out for both will be available on older platforms.
Yeah, most of the stuff is going to be cross-generation. Like, unless you're a huge fan of the Spider-Man games and you want to play Miles Morales on PS5 day one, then
but you can play that on PS4. I mean, the Miles is coming out for PS4 too. Cyberpunk's coming out for PS4. Valhalla's coming out for PS4. What is that? Demon Souls is just a fucking remake, anyways, right, for the PS5. So.
Demon Souls is a remake of a PS3 game.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if it's a remake or like a reboot of the franchise, but yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like, if you're like, oh, I didn't get one, I'm going to laugh at you and be like, I did. But what am I going to fucking do with the PS5 on day one besides load up a game that might look slightly better if I buy an $8,000 TV versus what my PS4 games look like now?
Very true.
So, but it's a sickness. Collectors get it. I think you understand it, at least going through what we just did the past week. I mean, you feel that pull. It's like, you really don't need it. You don't need to spend the $500, and you know for a fact that you're really not even going to get true next gen games probably until early 2021.
Yeah.
But the allure to get on there and do the circle jerk refresh show, it's strong, right? Like it's weird.
I mean, and we've talked about this at length in the last, few episodes. Like, really, we barely play games at this time.
Correct.
Like
that's
really
a true
the game
statement.
that got us both sucked back into it was Ghosts. And before that, I mean, I hadn't touched a console controller in months, if not almost a full year. Like, and but still, like, when that happens and you're a gamer and you know, like, this is the time.
Yeah,
like,
it's the new and shiny, man. I can't. It's like I got a disease up here. It's the same shit with the fucking toys. It's like, oh, gotta get it. Why? So you can fucking take it out and lay it on a table and let dust get all over it. I mean, that's what I do with toys now. These toys that I kill myself to pre-order. You know, sit there and do the Mezco ball punching maneuver where you go on there for a new launch and every payment system you put in there fails out or their site goes down. And then when the shit shows up, I'm like, oh, cool, I got it. I'll lay it on a table for 2 months.
Yeah. And, and with these new consoles, both the Xbox Series X and the PS5, they're huge. You're going to have to make room.
It's ridiculous. I'm glad you brought that up because I mean... I'm gonna have to take I have the 20th anniversary PS4 Pro, like the super limited edition clear blue.
Yep.
That's gonna have to get ripped out, and I don't even know if the 5's gonna fit in its slot. The fucking Series X, I'm almost gonna have to buy a whole new entertainment center for, because I don't know if you can lay it on its side.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's always been shown standing. Like,
yeah,
straight, like,
I mean,
it is
it's a fucking PC tower.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I mean, you can kind of see behind me a little bit, but like I have a entertainment stand set up that has 4 boxes, 4 shelves where you can put things. And I don't know, like you said, I don't know if the PS5 is going to fit in there. It's definitely not going to fit vertically because the thing is almost as tall as like a 40-inch TV vertically.
I mean, dude,
I don't
you
know
can't.
If it's going to fit horizontally either.
With cats and shit, you can't stand consoles up, or those things are going to get fucking face rubbed down to the floor. I've never been a fan of standing consoles vertically either. It gives me the heebie-jeebies, like the disc is going to fucking flail out and get shredded inside or something. But anyways, it was a big fuck off. I did get my PS5 a day later, just randomly rotting my brain on social media, doing some doom scrolling, probably sitting there trying to step on my right testicle, because that's what we do in life now. That is 2020. Like how shitty can you make yourself feel every day? And out of the blue, Walmart, 9 o'clock, they're gonna have a new shipment, new stock. I'm like, hey, fuck it. It's Wally World. Who the fuck knows what's going to go on there? I'm guessing it's going to be a shit show. But I'm going to sit here like a loyal money-spending douchebag and get ready. And sure enough, 8:59 rolled the 9, refresh, pre-order, go. Was signed in, went through. I was like, holy shit, got it. So it was so random that I got it that way. And then today was the Xbox Series X. And Microsoft at least gave their base a week's notice. Like, hey, the shit's going live Tuesday, 11 o'clock East. That's great. But it also sucks because the douchebags out there, the scalpers, the dickheads, the eBay, black marketers, they're like, oh, sweet. We'll have all our scripts ready exactly at 10:59 a.m. We'll run those fucking executables and we'll get there and bot scoop all this shit up. And Nick, I'm telling you, Microsoft's site, dead. Yep. I can't blame Microsoft for retailers being dickheads, right? I mean, it's not Microsoft's fault that Best Buy has a busted ass cart system. It's not Microsoft's fault that Target also has a busted cart system. It is Microsoft's fault that they couldn't keep their own fucking store live for a minute. I'm talking, dude, it wasn't just the cart issue. They were getting 503, which means that whatever servers were running that website and that store were done. Like their CPUs were like, hey, fuck off. We're going to stop. We're literally going on strike until you quit trying to kill us. So I sit there, I waste up, an hour of my life from 11 to noon. I'm like, well, shit, it's getting close to the show. I got to do some prep stuff. I'm just going to fucking forget about it. And I did. I peeled myself away. As hard as that is, and we know it, even on toy orders, when it's like you're probably past the window where there's any left, but you still think there's hope because you're not seeing the out of stock symbol yet. Yeah. I was able to pull myself out of that for this show. That's how much I love all of you people and Nick. But then, when I'm done working out, I came here to check in with the young lad to let him know what our timing was going to be. Same fucking thing happened again with the PS5. I just randomly get on Hootsuite. Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, just had a random tweet that he released a minute before I looked that said, Best Buy's got him back up. Go, go, go. So I get over there. It's still in my cart from before. It logs me out. I'm like, oh, fuck. Log back in. As soon as I log in, it's still in my cart. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try. Bam, proceed to check out. It goes through. So both of my next-gen console pre-orders happened randomly. I didn't get either one at the bell, but because I am a slave to the social media and doom scrolling in general, the capitalism gods, as I said, had my back and rewarded me by allowing me to spend over $1,000 in a week on 2 consoles that I'll probably be really excited to unbox, and then they'll sit there in my entertainment center like the rest of my gaming machines.
Yeah, they will. That is exactly what they'll do. It'll sit there for a little while, and then what I'll do is if I'm still playing a game that I was playing on PS4, I will hope that our cross-save functionality through PS Plus works fine. Yeah, and then I will play that game on PS.
Right. I'll probably be playing Horizon Zero Dawn from 2017 on my PS5.
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking at. So it is what it is. I can't believe I scored both. I mean, both, as I said, both attempts were initial fails, but because I am a slave to blowing money I shouldn't blow, I pulled out a victory.
Yeah, I mean that's lucky, because there's been people, I've seen people on whatever it is, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, all over the internet that are like, I've been trying to get a PS5 for days, I still can't get a pre-order. Like you said, Sony themselves has come out and said like, oh, we fucked this up. We really need to, we'll do better. And it's the same thing for Xbox. Like just scrolling through Twitter before we went live, it's like, sold out immediately. Can't get it. What the hell? So Microsoft's no better than Sony. Like all this shit. So
I got lucky, but like I said, for some reason the universe only lets me burn luck on dumb shit like this. I'm not gonna get lucky on the lottery or other important things in life. I get lucky on, as I said, the right to spend ungodly amounts of money on entertainment.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right. Well. Anything else you wanted to bring up in between, like what happened last week? Anything interesting pop up?
Nothing too interesting for me. I did unlock Darth Malak on SWGO, so even though I'm still way behind the 8 ball, I now have Malak unlocked. And now, for those of you who do play the game and know how Malak works, he's not like every other legendary. Him and Gas are now, hey, you unlocked it. Good job. Now you can spend all of your territory credits to level them up to 7.
Your get credits, your GETs. You haven't been saving that shit?
I have. I mean, like I was, but I also need to get Wampa. So like I've been.
Oh, yeah. Do you have Hobo Yoda?
Yeah, Yoda's done. Like Hobo Yoda is like Relic 3. So he's finished.
Did you see Mr. Rose somewhat scouting Lottie in Discord?
I do see those.
Because Lottie, I don't know who the hell Lottie is. Like if he joins the live streams here, but Lottie is fairly active in our Discord.
Yeah, Lottie is. I believe he said he's a Pandora listener.
Okay, but I mean, he seems to be fairly advanced in the game because I mean, he unlocked Jedi Knight Luke, which I mean, you've had to have been paying attention for a few years to do that.
Yep.
But apparently his guilds beat, like they don't attempt any of the big stuff. Because my big like SWGO moment this past week is I finally was able to participate in the Kiadi Mundi special mission and score a shard for the guild. So, my Shakti and my 501s are all pimped out. But Li's like, man, we don't even attempt that type of shit. And as soon as Mr. Rose sniffed that out in the chat, he's like, hey, man, send me your ally code. So
I saw that.
So I don't know, like if he's scouting them out to maybe bring them over to Wookiees Always Win or what. But I mean, that's how it goes. You got to watch out what you say about SWGO when the intern / Mr. Tico is in the room.
Yeah, he's a recruiter over there. He's making sure to get all of the best players onto the.
But I love that game. We say it all the time. People bitch about it, but it was getting too crazy. I've now I'm doing a little bit more like the intern, and I'm only favoriting tunes that I'm actively working on. No longer am I going to have like 50 fucking tunes flagged. You know what I mean? Where you check the little ribbon and it always keeps them at the top of your tune list. So. I'm working on JKL. That's it. I got the laser focus on that. I'm not as far out as I thought. And then I'll start moving on to the more ridiculous Legends. But
yeah, like the Legends are going to be crazy.
Yeah. I also, like I said, thanks to Klondike, these bad boys showed up today. For some reason, I fucking bought 2 of these Phase 1 Clone Trooper Lieutenants. Like I Army build, I don't. I don't know why I bought 2. I'm somewhat considering maybe getting rid of one. You never know. The more I think about it, maybe I'll keep it. But I do have 2 of these motherfuckers, and I probably won't take a shot of them for at least 3 months.
There you go.
All right.
That's it.
That's it. So
that's everything we got so far for the life updates.
There we go. So let's get into our Star Wars low-hanging fruit stuff. The way we're going to flow today, we're going to talk about some of the new shit we can blow our money on in Star Wars land. Middle segment will focus on all the Mando stuff that's out there, the Boba rumors, the amount of seasons, and then we'll kind of wrap with the comic book updates and finally the fan segment. So starting off here, this kind of came out of the blue yesterday, Nick, but Lucasfilm announced a new program to gouge us fans for our hard-earned money. It's called Mando Mondays.
Oh yeah, all the toy collectors are really going to like this one.
Yeah, we technically had the first Mando Monday yesterday, but they officially will not begin until October 26th, so the Monday of Mando S2 launch week. And essentially what these are is every Monday outside the first one, so following the release of a new episode of The Mandalorian, there's going to be select limited edition exclusive type of Mandalorian merchandise to buy.
Okay.
So this week, the first salvo included, I believe, the first ever carbonized Star Wars 375 figures. So you got a Death Trooper, Cara, Remnant Trooper, Mando himself. So the small figure crowd got a little dip. Nick, these are the ones that kind of got people feeling a little itchy. We also have these new, I think they're called like Credit Hunt or Credit Heist, some dumb shit line of these Mandalorian. Now, these are the Black Series 6-inch figures, but as you'll notice, Nick, they gave them paint jobs based on the radical looking concept art. So
yeah,
I've got Cara pulled up now. You know, she's got a lot of aqua accents to her and some red in her belt. And, you know, you could argue they look interesting. You could argue, like a lot of people I heard basically saying this is just another repaint of existing figures. Just give us new shit. Fuck you, Hasbro.
It seems like that. Yeah, like people get very upset by the rehashes.
I'm not going to lie. Some of these you could look at as just little pieces of art because they are. It's almost like it's an interpretation of a figure.
Yeah.
Like the Mandalorian himself, it is very goofy looking. I mean, he's almost Boba Fett holiday special goofy
I was going to say
looking.
like the gold and blue with like
right.
I mean, that's like a very prominent blue on his helmet too. And then almost like a red bronze for the armor.
Oh yeah, yeah. So he's a little stylized. I mean, IG-11's fucking orange and rusty looking.
Mm-hmm.
The heavy Mando doesn't look that much different. He's a lot more vibrant blue, I guess. And then the Death Trooper, honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll wrap myself out. I did pre-order the Death Trooper.
Okay.
I was going to make the stand. I'm not fucking pre-ordering any of these because literally I already have each one and I don't think the variations are that much. Mando, it is kind of just so odd looking. I considered it, but I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to get the Death Trooper. Because it is kind of a unique looking paint job on the Death Trooper. Like that
like
one.
Almost like a rusted.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that one I think just works as a weathered looking Death Trooper. So that's kind of why I went with that. They are also offering up some fig pins. There's a whole collection of fig pins. There's a gentle giant bust. Really nothing else moved me. I'm not into the Funkos anymore. I don't even really like this Lego The Child that much.
Is that an actual Polaroid camera?
Yeah, I was going to say, now you know shit's getting fucking goofy with The Mandalorian. I mean, they're now trying to sell fucking Polaroids with Mandalorian film.
Yep.
And the camera itself. The only interesting thing on this Polaroid, Nick, if you look on the box, there's a shot of a Mandalorian on the side of the box. It's definitely not Din.
No.
I saw people speculating, could this be Cobb? And a lot of people, well, if it's Cobb, he would have the acid-eating Fett armor on. He almost has like a hockey glove going, so it could just be a Mando we're going to meet. But you'd have to think that this character may pop up in season 2 if they're throwing them on promotional materials.
Yeah, I mean, Cobb Vanth could be a possibility. If he's cobbling together armor, we don't know. I mean, we don't know if he has all of Boba's armor.
That's how he got his name. He's the cobbler.
Yeah, he's cobbling together.
Cobb the cobbler Vanth.
But yeah, I mean, that could definitely be some sort of small, tease. To
it was odd that they would include a Mando on this box and it not be Din. So yeah, I mean, who knows there. But basically, these Mando Mondays, the first one launched yesterday. I'd assume most stuff is sold out at this point in time. But they will pick up again for 9 weeks starting on October 26th. Who knows?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How much money do you think you're going to spend on Mando Mondays?
Well, if it's like this first one, hopefully not more than $20 to $30 a Monday.
Okay. It's not too bad.
If after the first episode they're like, oh, by the way, here's the entire season 2 wave of fucking Black Series Mandalorian figures. Here's the Sasha Banks character. Here's a new Mando. Here's a new child. Then yeah, okay, it's going to get silly.
Yeah.
I hope it's not like that. Like there's a part of me that hopes Mando Mondays are just kind of little jerk off things where it is going to be more tchotchke like collectibles than stuff that I lose sleep over. So there's our Mando Monday update. It's fucking cash grab, really. They know what they have now, and they know they've suckered some of even the toxic people back, and they're like, all right, let's start trying to get some cash.
Oh yeah. So StarWars.com/Mando-Mondays is the official Mando Mondays website. Countdown to Mando Mondays is 33 days away. So it starts, right before the release of Mando season 2.
Yeah, maybe even our dumbasses will post every Monday if there's something to look forward to, but I doubt it. Okay, we got more money to think about spending here, Nick, and this comes from our buddies over at X-Clue magazine, but apparently there is a new Hot Toys Lando 1/6 scale figure to pre-order, and I'm talking Empire Strikes Back Lando, the Baron himself.
Yes.
And he looks great. I mean, it's very Billy D correct. It's just at this point, man, I'm really starting to feel the damage I've done to my finances with collecting the entire wave of Mandalorian 1/6 scale figures.
Yeah, I mean, this figure here, so this is Hot Toys 1/6 scale Lando 235. So it's not like you said, you've already basically spent the down payment on a car on these 1/6 scale Hot Toys
100%, 100%.
So I can see why you're hesitant to do this, especially if how often are you going to shoot a Billy? Like, is he gonna be a regular?
I mean, I need to come to a point now where it's like, okay, dude, pull off, foot off the gas.
Yeah,
foot off the gas. Wife and I are doing like a just out of the blue. We're running back out to the coast this weekend. That's not cheap. We got a fairly good deal, but it's still hundreds of dollars. It's basically 2 fucking 1/6 scales. If I could just get away from this stupid shit.
Yeah, that's when you start thinking about like,
it hurts.
Vacation's gonna cost me.
It fucking hurts, Nick. All right, don't rub it in. It just makes it all that much worse when I think. I mean, I paid my Discover from last month. It would have paid for a full week-long vacation at the beach. And most of the Discover stuff was from Sideshow Collectibles.
There you go.
It's ugly. And then I get the email today from Sideshow. Hey, guess what? The regular Mandalorian's in early. Do you just want to pay everything you have left and get it early? It's like, yeah, sure. It's just another $101. Go for it. I want him shipped next week.
Yeah, I want them as soon as fucking possible.
Oh my God, dude. It's just, I can't think about it too much or I really do start to get anxiety. I start to almost hyperventilate going, what have I done? What have I done? I am Anakin just after he fucks Mace Windu.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, you realize that the dark side is close. You're right there. You're standing by the window. Yeah, you haven't cut his hand off yet.
I know what is the right thing to do. I just can't do it. I just cannot help myself.
If you hit the refresh button on this page, Matt, I did make it to where you can scroll through the images now.
Well, I wasn't gonna call you out, but
okay. But yeah,
I did notice that.
Hit the refresh. We can go through it. So, is there anything on here that really does tempt you, though? Knowing that
I mean, it's Billy fucking D. He looks fantastic. I mean, look at that cape. Look at the inside of the cape.
The inside of the cape is sick.
Look at that fucking pattern. I don't think anyone really has been able to appreciate the inside of Lando's Cloud City cape up until now.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. The guy was such a pimp. It's like he had artisans making his clothes.
It's nuts.
So, yes, this is a very hard one to just pass on because I have the ESB Boba Fett. I have the ESB fucking Darth Vader.
Man, you could remake some cool scenes.
Oh, you cocksucker.
Don't
Listen to
talk
you.
To Trevor.
Yeah, you're just as bad as fucking 1/6 shooter these days.
Yes. Don't talk to 1/6. 1/6, Trevor, if you're out there, do not push him over the ledge on this one.
It is. I mean, it's a damn good looking figure, but I think it's one of those where I have to draw the line. Whenever I got in the 1/6 scale, I was like, yo, I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be like the 112. All right, you can't fucking buy them all. You can't have the wave just to say you have the wave. You got to break that thinking. So I think I'm going to let this one go. I mean, if I was able to let Qui-Gon go, I mean, I never got to Qui-Gon. I think he's shipping now. I'm going to let him go. I have to. Nick. Don't do it.
Yeah, I think you're making the right choice.
Right, thank you.
Maybe what you can do is you can start putting together a Christmas list of 1/6 scale figures that you can give to Heather and say like, hey, Christmas. I know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I have to cancel Christmas for myself. I mean, let's be real. And I tell her this all the time. I mean, by Christmas time, I'm going to have $1,000 in new consoles.
Yep.
Well over $1,000 in 1/6 scale Mandalorian figures. On top of hundreds and hundreds of dollars on 1/12 scale pre-orders that I did over the summer that'll be coming out in the fall. It's like Matt should never get anything for any holiday. Like nothing for Christmas, nothing for birthdays, nothing for Father's Day, nothing for anniversaries. I'm good.
I think that, you're just like me because Taylor says that I'm an impossible person to buy gifts for. Because I just buy everything that I want, and I'm the same
way. I mean, that's how it is. It's like I don't know if it's because when I grew up, my parents were actually good parents, and they didn't just fucking get me everything like I'm doing for my kid. So she's probably going to be a nightmare. But it's like I'm a big boy now. I've got my money. I don't have a lot of credit card debt. I really don't have any credit card. I mean, the only debt I have is my house and my truck.
Yeah.
Outside of, month to month carrying credit cards, but I never pay interest. I'll leave it at that. If I'm using a credit card, it's typically with the mindset that I'm going to pay it before the next bill comes. But it's just, it gets, as you said, it becomes ridiculous to where, you and I, something new is announced, and rather than waiting to see if it's good or to allow a loved one to surprise you and make them feel great about doing that, we're sitting here like, go, refresh, gotta get it, I got it, yeah! It's like, okay, I'm a big boy,
Yeah, you want that instant gratification feeling. You don't want to wait because you don't know when Christmas rolls around, you might not be able to get a PS5. It might be gone forever. They may stop producing them.
Exactly. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's always fun while we're doing it, right? It's always fun to hit buy now or pre-order on a Hot Toys or even in 1/12 scale exclusive consoles. But after a while, sometimes that guilt kicks in. And I'm feeling a little bit of it this fall. It was during the full lockdown, and we weren't really we weren't going anywhere. We hadn't taken a vacation yet, so the money was it was kind of piling up a little bit. It's like we were saving more than ever. I might have let that go to my head a little too much.
Yeah,
getting the COVID check, I might have let that go to my head a little too much, and started to get a little greedy and a little too fast and loose with the 1/6 scale figures.
So, I mean, it's available for pre-order now. So you can go get it if you want to. 235 1/6 scale ESB Lando. I mean, he looks good, but like Matt said, do you really need it? Do you need it, or does your family need food on the table?
Right. You got to make some concessions here or there. I would say, if you're not an asshole like me and dropped thousands on Mandalorian 1/6 scale, you almost owe it to Star Wars past and the supposed best Star Wars film of all time to get Mr. Colt 45 himself in his best Star Wars look. I mean, that baby blue, and like we said, I mean, just look at the interior of that cape.
I'm gonna say the cape is so nuts.
What a pimp!
I love it, man. I love it. So available now. Hit Sideshow. Go put your pre-orders in. And we have a list of all of the things that he comes with at the bottom of the post on StarWarsTime.net. So you can go there and you can see everything that he comes with as well. All of his little accessories. Oh, yeah. So ESB Land.
Oh yeah. The peanut gallery here, they're reminding me of my follies and telling me that I probably could buy a beach house by now. And you're fucking right. I mean, I said last week, I added up what is just now in my glass shelves, in addition to the pre-orders, and it's 5-figure thousands. Like as Nick said, I could buy a fucking vehicle. I could have bought a fucking quad, a dirt bike, brand new, Wave Runner, a small car. No, I'm just buying more fucking toys that I'm gonna let sit on my table, take half-ass shots of, and then put them in a glass shelf.
The sickness continues.
What am I doing to my life? Fuck, I could retire well before I'm allowed to retire if I could just get my shit together. But hey, you never know when you're going to die. Can't take it with you. So That's what it is.
Very true.
All right. I mean, this next one here isn't toy related. Thank God. It's nothing I have to spend money on. Although I guess if I really wanted to play this the best way possible, I would have to go buy the Oculus Quest 2, right, Nick?
The new Quest, the Oculus Quest 2, correct. So this new trailer here for Star Wars Tales from Galaxies Edge kind of gives you a little look at the upcoming VR game that is for Quest and Quest 2. It has not been announced for any other VR system yet, so not PSVR.
I'm still too pussy to play the trailer, too, and I know it'll probably work.
I mean, we don't know. We could be in the makings of a disaster.
It's probably not worth it, right? It's not worth it.
I mean, honestly, this trailer is not worth it because, even though the little time bar on the YouTube video says 51 seconds, the trailer is literally only 20 seconds long.
I'm getting distracted by Space Jesus in the chat.
Oh man, is he?
No, there's literally this dude's called Space Jesus, and he has a picture of Mullet Kenobi from Clone, so it's perfect because that is Space Jesus. He's just in here doing hello there, and this is the way. It's a real person, like it's not a bot. I don't know if it's one of the regulars or if this is a new person. Either way, hey, Space Jesus, hello there. We speak your name.
Welcome to the live stream. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're going to try to play a trailer, probably, save the potential crash of the live stream and podcast for a better one, because this one, all you really get to look at is about 20 to 23 seconds of in-game, like in actual VR headset footage of Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge. But not really much else. You get to see yourself kind of milling about that too. You get to see some of the gunplay from the game, and you get to see your interactions with C-3PO and R2-D2 at some points in time as well. But really, this is the definition of a teaser. A lot of times teasers are extending to the minute and a half mark, but this is literally a 25-second long teaser of the game. If you own a VR headset, if you own an Oculus Quest, definitely something to look into. I don't know if it's going to live up to the hype or the realization of what Vader Immortal was, but it's
I probably could tell you about that one if I would just get it for the PSVR, but wow.
I've seen people playing it, and I mean, it looks fun. It looks like it's a very immersive experience. Vader Immortal, that is. But I just again, like we were talking about, gaming, just like collecting toys, is a sickness. And I don't know if I'm ready to drop the necessary money to buy a fucking Oculus Quest 2 or 1. I mean, Oculus Quest 1, you can't even find it on Amazon right now.
Really? They're just sold out still?
It's not sold through Amazon. You would have to go through somebody else, but it's $380. Like, do I want to spend $400 on an Oculus Rift?
I mean, I don't know if you read up on Quest 2 last week, because I think that's when reviews went live for it, but it was getting glowing reviews, the Quest 2, that is.
Yeah.
I know the Quest was kind of the way to do it too, because these are the ones, my friends, where you don't need a PC. I mean, it's all done in goggle, in remote, that's the way to do VR if you're going to do VR. Because I'm telling you right now, I think one of the reasons I probably have not tried Immortal out is I don't feel like hooking up my PSVR headset, having the fucking cable hang on me. You got to hook it into your PlayStation, and the PlayStation has to go to your TV or your receiver. It's fuck, I don't even know if the shit's going to work on the PS5, so.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the Oculus Quest 1 is only available through third-party sellers, but the Quest 2 is available for pre-order now on Amazon. The 64 gigabyte version, which is the smaller of the internal storage, is only $299. It's $300, and it releases on October 13th. So, I mean, it's more affordable than the Quest 1 is for the same version, and you can buy it on Amazon. It's pre-order open. If you have an Amazon store card, you can do the 6 months of, financing, the equal payments over 6 months with zero interest. I mean, it's tempting, but I don't want to do it. I've already, like you said, I already spent $500 on a PS5. I don't want to buy this when I know realistically that the only thing that I would play on this is fucking Tales from Galaxy's Edge, Vader Immortal. Right. It's not worth it for 2 games.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. So,
but for you, if you're looking to drop a little bit more money, you should get it. Then tell me how awesome.
No, I need to, after this next trip east, I need to just fucking chill out, sit on my hands, or break my fingers so I can't, work buying machines anymore. And by buying machines, I'm talking iPads, phones, desktops.
Yeah. What I will do is, if I ever get a job again, if I ever do finally get a job, then I will make the Oculus Quest 2 potentially my congratulatory gift to myself.
All right, there you go. So Nick will be our reporter on the street for this type of stuff.
And the first time that I come back onto stream after having an Oculus Quest and I have a broken arm, you will know why. I fell down my stairs playing my Oculus Quest. So.
Please don't, dude. Don't do it. You just fucking jinxed yourself. The peanut gallery is out of control. We got questions all over the place. Have you read Dark Empire? I don't know. I mean, I don't read. Nick might have. No, Nick's never getting his Revan lightsaber. Be nice, Lottie.
Yes, the lightsaber is not happening.
Lottie Dottie, you missed your spot. We were talking about Mr. Rose Tico trying to scout you from Discord, but this Go Talk is in the past now.
Yeah. I did not read Dark Empire from Legends canon.
All right. So Nick, let's kind of put our Mandalorian armor on, right? And strap up the Beskar here. And really, what we're looking at now, if you're on the live stream, if you're not, well, I'm checking out my Boba's armor ? Video that we threw up on YouTube last week. And quite frankly, this stems from Star Wars Time Show fans.
Yes.
I was kind of looking to take the day after the show a little easy. Tuesday was a busy day last week. We had the Mando trailer. I had real life work. We had the cast that went up for almost 3 hours. So I was like, cool. Well, I got my Star Wars out of my system. We all had our circle jerk last night. I can chill out. No. And I asked for it, right? I want to be someone Star Wars fans come to with questions and whatnot. So, I fire up the IG to do my routine every morning. If you're new to this, remember, at Star Wars Time Show on Instagram, tag us, hashtag Star Wars Time Show, for a chance to be featured on our page and or the greatest non-listener heavy Star Wars podcast of all time, the Star Wars Time Show. We do that during our fan segment. But I was out there and I saw some messages, and the one was from on Insta. A lot of you will know him if you're on Insta, if you're in the toy community. Rebel Jawa, aka Dan Sparks. He was the first one to be like, "Hey, dude, check this out." And he sent me like a collage of images of this shot. You can see basically the shot of Din on the speeder from the trailer.
Yeah, we kind of just glazed over that too.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. This type of shit, like the frame by frame, I'm not quite that type of Easter egg speculator. I mean, more power to those of you that have the time to do that. I try to keep my videos nice and short. Got to get them out because I also have a real life job. But based on the evidence submitted by Rebel Jawa, and he's the one that sent me a screen. If you can see the arrow pointing, if you're on the live stream, or if you're not, just go to StarWarsTime.net and search for our Mandalorian Season 2 trailer may hint at Boba Fett's armor post. I have an arrow pointing to a bulge on the side of the bike. If you really kind of darken the rest of the image and then lighten the bulge, you can make a great case that is a Mandalorian helmet, probably Boba Fett's helmet. We already said and took it to the bank that we assume Mando is on Tatooine here. At the end of Episode 5, Season 1, that's where Spur Boy came into play. That's what first got everyone wondering. Spurs, Tatooine, what's going on? Is it Boba Fett? Is it Cobb Vanth? Blah, blah, blah. But then in our Discord, so I was like, yeah, Dan, that could be a stretch, pretty blurry. I don't know. But then I signed our Discord. We got Tones is in there.
Yep.
He shared another post. I think it was Tones. It might have been someone else, but someone in our Discord shared another post, essentially highlighting the back of the speeder and drawing out an outline and saying that is a Mandalorian jetpack, probably Boba Fett's. So Nick, I kind of ran with it. At that point, there was enough evidence that I couldn't just be like, nah, fuck it, it's blurry. You guys are on drugs. You're crazy Star Wars fans. So I was like, I'm going to tackle this. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to do some research, and it's very convincing. I do ask you to watch the video. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to play it here. Here's the script if you just want to read it, but my theory here is, I mean, this could be, if we are going to run with the fact that Din, for some reason, is transporting more than likely Boba Fett's armor on Tatooine. The interesting thing is that really Boba Fett's armor? Because at this point, I think there's enough evidence we could at least agree that it's probably Mandalorian armor of some sort.
Yes.
The fun thing is, okay, let's run with it's Boba's armor. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. How did he get it? Why does he have it? And one of the big things that first occurred to both Matt and me when we were talking about this is that, like you mentioned, this could be related to Cobb Vanth. So one of the rumored castings for Mandalorian Season 2, ahead of the official, trailer and the official announcement of the release day, was that Timothy Olyphant was going to be in this series as someone. And one character that we quickly nailed down as a possibility was Cobb Vanth, which, if you've read any of the Bounty Hunters comic series, Cobb Vanth is described as a sheriff type person who is,
Nick, I think he was in those novels that came out when the Skywalker saga was coming back to life. I don't know if it was Aftermath, but I think he was in those books.
Yeah, Aftermath was the novels as well. It was like Empires. There was a series of Aftermath novels where they did kind of cover from the end of Return of the Jedi to right near the beginning of TFA. So I think you're right. He was also in that as well.
I mean, he's just a dude. He's not a Mandalorian, right? He's just a dude.
Yes.
That apparently either finds it or buys or salvages Mandalorian armor for Jawas in the Tatooine desert. And apparently the armor is corroded. almost like acid washed over it. I mean, it's pretty beat up because the story then, I believe, was, or I don't know if they really go into it, but one assumes that the Sarlacc vomited it up, right? Because it could not digest the Beskar. Jawas, being the little scavengers they are, gathered it up, hoping to trade or sell it at one point in time. I don't know the details, so don't quote me on any of this, but Cobb Vanth becomes or gets the armor.
Yep.
And he actually uses it to sort of be a sheriff of some Tatooine village, town, whatever you want to call it. So he's actually, from what I've read, Cobb wasn't an asshole. He actually was protecting people with the armor. So back to this, Nick, in Mandalorian, if this is Boba Fett's armor, did Din and Boba Fett have it out? He blasted him, and Din is reclaiming it because we all know Boba Fett's a little pussy bitch, right? And he doesn't hold the Mandalorian values. Did Boba Fett himself ask Din to go retrieve his armor from this Cobb Vanth character in exchange for information on sorcerers? I mean, where do we go with this?
I feel like if there's, between those two options, that one seems the most likely that he's actually been hired by Boba Fett to go retrieve his armor. Because if we know, anything about, at this point, Boba is a little bit older, and we also know that if he has escaped from the Sarlacc pit without his armor, then he's essentially defenseless. He's a great gunfighter, and he's probably a good,
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
In legends and lore, in terms of what we've seen now, the man on screen, that's debatable.
Yes, I will agree with that. But
I just love riling up Boba Fett fans.
But yeah, Boba fans are passionate too. They will come at you, but. I could buy that he knows that somebody's got his armor. He's like, this guy has my armor in this town, but I just don't have the ability to go after him. Like, I'm not.
And you would think he probably feels like an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he went out, he lost his shit. If he, I don't think Boba Fett was ever a true Mando. I mean, he's a fucking clone, for Christ's sakes. But maybe, maybe he did start believing in the Mandalorian ethos, and he's like, no one can see me without my shit. How the fuck did you find me, Din? Well, it's because you're the Mandalorian, and I've got some information on Sorta, which Boba Fett would. I mean, he knows about the Jedi firsthand. He watched Mace murder his dad.
He also knows about Luke Skywalker. I mean,
right. In the Clone Wars, he tried to kill Jedi in the temple. I mean, he knows plenty about the Jedi. I don't know. It's just, if this is Din actually disposing of Boba and jacking his armor, I don't think that works. I mean, it would be a stupid narrative. You would further shortchange Boba Fett. It would be a throwaway for a character of his legendary status.
And then it's just like, what would Mando benefit by having that armor? It's like, say he gets in a duel, he kills Mando. He kills Boba. Why take his armor? Like, what's the purpose of having it at that point?
It's like I believe someone, if it's not Boba, maybe Boba had someone's working for Boba. I'm leaning towards Mando is commissioned to do this to get something that's going to help his mission out with the child. Yeah,
and look, if it is that he's going after Cobb, and we know, and it's true that Cobb's kind of acting as a sheriff and protecting a town, I don't think Mando brings it to blows, but I think that he sternly explains to Cobb, like, hey, you're wearing something that does not belong to you. This is a part of Mandalorian tradition.
Right, the creed. Like he'll start busting out, this is the way, and smack him around a little bit.
He'll just, explain to him as gently as possible without resorting to violence. You either give this to me or I will forcibly take it off of your body. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was the one last year, like, no Boba Fett. We don't fucking need Boba Fett. I want Din to be the hero, but I've changed on that because I really do think, if done correctly, including Boba Fett, not only opens up content that we've all lived with for 40 plus years now. Like, it further fleshes out the original trilogy, the prequels a bit. But I really think it would just add so many more possibilities and narrative threads to the Mandalorian itself. Would Din be friendly with a Boba Fett? Would it be a contentious relationship? Is Boba Fett looked at kind of how Din was in season 1, where the Heavy was about ready to kill him because, hey, this fucking guy, he only goes out and works with those rat bag Imperials to bring stuff back to the collective. We know Boba Fett. I mean, he was a full-on bounty hunter, working for the Empire, doing shady shit. I don't know. I am now starting to sing the tune of Mr. Fett and how he could enhance this show, not just a show in Star Wars lore, but the character of Din himself and how Din interacts with this dude.
I think so too. And we don't know if Tamira Morrison is going to be in this show for a long period of time.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, we'll get that soon. But what if he continues, the Mando continues to do what he did in season 1, where like he's building an entourage around him. Season 1, he picks up Grief and he picks up Cara. Now he's got 2 people to run with. Season 2, he picks up Boba Fett and he picks up Ahsoka, further expanding his little, coven, his little group
and we've also heard from Favreau himself that this show is gonna essentially become Star Wars of Thrones, to where Din himself is not going to be the main narrative vehicle anymore. I mean, every episode is not just going to center on Din. You might get hey, Din and the child, they're flying over here, but for the next 30 minutes, you're focused on Sasha Banks's character. Or you're focused on Grief and Cara. They get into some hijinks for an episode. So by bringing in a legend character like this, a legendary, I mean, he's not legends, an iconic, I guess that's a better way to describe the Fett. But I really do now think it could, knowing Filoni's involved and John himself, they're not going to do anything stupid with this character. So I do think this thing is kind of tipping us off a little bit. Obviously keeping our speculative juices going for the Mandalorian. It's just generating a ton of buzz already for the show. I mean, this Boba stuff, and really our next topic kind of dovetails off of this one.
Yeah.
But Boba in the Mando is starting to feel even stronger than Ahsoka in the Mando at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at least based off of things that we can point to, concrete evidence that we can point to saying that this person is going to be in it. Clearly, Boba with this potential armor reveal, and our next story, like you mentioned, that dovetails off of it. Tamira Morrison himself has at one point listed on his own CV that he was going to be, that he is in Mandalorian season 2 as Boba Fett.
Have they finally scrubbed that listing? Because I took a picture of it, so we'll just move on to that one.
Yeah, we can move on there.
Yeah, we'll keep talking about Boba Fett and Mandalorian. I mean, just based on this tease, there's very strong evidence that there's a jetpack and a Mando helmet on Din's speeder. There's also strong evidence that he is on Tatooine. And like I said earlier, if you tie all that back to the Stinger episode 5 season 1 with the Spurs, things are starting to line up a bit. Why does Mando have to go back to Tatooine? Well, is Fennec, is she really dead? Why'd that person walk over her body? What's going on? It's really the fun part now. If Boba truly is in it, why do these two link up? Is it contentious? Is it to kind of help each other out, but it's still contentious? Or is there more understanding now on Boba's part of the Mandalorian culture? We know Din subscribes to the creed. Is Boba just trying to get back in with a group? I don't know. Maybe he's reformed. Maybe spending some time in the Sarlacc's gut fucking changed him. Yeah, this is the interesting stuff now for me. It's like, if Boba's truly in here, what's the reason?
Yeah, I mean, and if they follow old legends, then at a certain point, he does kind of come around to more of a trying to live up to the Mandalorian way of life a little bit more.
Okay, well, maybe that's the way they'll go. But I would prefer their relationship to be sort of contentious, but potentially build towards a partnership of sorts.
Yes.
Like almost a redemption for Boba. Because, I mean, it's not like he was ever firmly in the Empire faction. I mean, I think he truly was a bounty hunter, would have done whatever for money. Mm-hmm. But the way we were given Boba, I mean, he was essentially Vader's de facto henchman, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, he was a bad guy. Like, if you just base your knowledge off of him.
He was fucking with our dudes. He was fucking with Han, and he tried to fuck with Luke, and he got burnt.
Yeah, you know, he brings Han in to fucking, you know, to Jabba, and, you know, he's hanging up there on the wall. He's in Jabba's palace in episode 6, and that's where he finds his demise by the hands of the Sarlacc pit and a blind Han Solo. So for all that we know based off of current canon, he is a bad guy. And we've never seen him run a bounty for, you know, the good side. So
I kind of think what do they call it? The re-education of Boba Fett could be nice. No, what happens? What are prisoners supposed to do? Is it reform themselves? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, either
reform is not a bad word to use.
That works too. But there is a word. It's just escaping my poo poo up in my head here. So either way, as we said, I mean, this little topic here, the whole speeder bike and the outlines thing is only further bolstered by another Boba Fett / Mandalorian tidbit that kind of came out in between last week and this week's show. But Tamir Morrison, the guy that portrayed Jango Fett in essentially every clone, I mean, he is the clone template. He's from out there. I think he's New Zealand. I don't know if he lives in Australia now, but either way, he's out in those two fake islands that we talk about that actually exist. And there is a talent agency site out there called Showcast, and I did check into this. This Showcast site is legit. And as of, I even think this Sunday, his listing was still marked and updated. If you're on the live stream, hopefully you can see the graphic here. But his profile, his headshot on the Showcast site, which is a talent agency for Australian and New Zealand actors and actresses.
Yep.
His most recent credit is listed in 2020 as television, role of Boba Fett, production The Mandalorian Season 2, post-production, meaning the show is in post, company, blah, 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 who cares, Disney Plus, directors, various. This isn't like a Reddit post. It wasn't doctored. I mean, Nick's telling me now if we go out to the listing, which I might be able to,
gone.
Is the whole listing gone, or they just deleted that entry?
No, they just deleted that entry off of his. So this is a working, you know, page, and they just deleted the Mandalorian.
All right, it's official. Boba Fett is motherfucking in Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah,
because Nick's right. I just opened the live version again. If you're on the live stream, you can see it now. Notice. Here's a live version. Feature film, just Peter Bartlett. Ha, 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 ha. But if you go back to the screenshot version, I'm surprised we haven't got a cease and desist yet. You can see that the Boba Fett role was added in. So either someone hacked his account and was fucking with him, or the talent agency got a little excited about the Mandalorian trailer. And they're like, oh, fuck it, the trailer's out. Let's just go ahead and start announcing what our clients are into.
Yeah, maybe they didn't get a full order of the NDA. They didn't know when it ended, but they probably assumed, well, this movie here, Occupation Rainfall's in post-production, so is Mando, so why can't we put it up there? We're trying to get our boy some work. So, but yeah, I mean, this looks legit. You can scroll all the way down, see every role that he's ever been in from all the way back from 1972. And like, you know, this has everything that you would need to know as a casting director for somebody, either, you know, who wants to cast somebody who lives in Australia and New Zealand or anything like that. But, you know, you can see the credit for episode 2 on here too as Jango Fett. You can see the voiceover credit for Jango Fett in Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
I mean, so the site's is legit as fuck. And the fact that, like Nick said, they've gone and edited that almost kind of tips the hand more than just throwing it up there. Deleting it and not even coming out and saying anything about it. That's just kind of like, oh shit, damage is done. Let's just kind of do it, and hopefully assholes like Matt and Nick won't talk too much about it.
Yeah, my bad. that was a my bad moment.
So I mean, based on the trailer and you sleuths out there finding those blurry outlines of a jetpack and the helmet, and Tamara's listing pretty much outing it, there's I'm feeling as strong as you possibly can feel on Boba being in Mando S2 in some form or fashion. Trevor here in the Peanut Gallery said, it could be flashback based. Of course. Yeah. Really, any Boba content would be value added to me, because the guy really, and I joke about it sometimes, but I am being serious. Like, based on his on-screen action, he's a bozo. It's fucking bozo. You don't really know shit about him outside. He'll do whatever Vader wants. He's still afraid to stand up to Vader. Doesn't matter. And he's just kind of he lucks into shit. So you talked to 2019, Matt. Obviously, a lot of shit's going on differently. I was very anti-Boba and Mando because I felt like it would take some of the shine, some of the spotlight off of our dude. But now I really think, and knowing the people behind the show, if he's in there, which he's in there, it's going to be done in a way that's not only going to enhance our Mandalorian, but I think it will enhance Boba Fett and ultimately the Star Wars lore in general.
Yeah, I agree. So looking forward to seeing Boba and Mando this season, as we're now taking it to the bank that he's going to be in there. And yeah, I just really want to see how they use him, and if they use him in a way that does kind of try to, redeem him, I guess you would say, quote unquote, as
I think that would be the most interesting. I mean, if he's just going to be the same old bad guy and throwing wrenches into Din's plans, it's like, okay, we've kind of been there before. I mean, he was chasing the Falcon essentially, thanks to the special edition from episodes 4 through end of 5, and then he was mixed up with the gang again at the beginning of 6. I think the more interesting take, like you said, is rehabbing the image of Boba and kind of bringing him back into the creed of the Mandos.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but he also helps with the main quest.
Yeah, he's got to provide something. Right. I think that's one thing that we've realized about all of these characters so far, at least in Mandalorian season 1, is that everybody that he's interacted with in any meaningful way has given him something he needs to further his
I mean, dude, just think, like, the more I think about it, it's like, it'll just be refreshing to hear Boba say more than like half a sentence.
Yeah. He's no good to me.
He's no good. Put him in the cargo hold.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that was his Empire lines, right?
Yeah, that's it. And then in
return, he says nothing. He flirts. He flirts with a dancer. He flies over.
You don't even hear him. You just see him looking at her.
Yeah, I mean, he flirts with a dancer. He like rubs her chin, and then he makes the bad move of trying to fight a Jedi and a blind guy and a Wookiee. And the only other dialogue we get out of him is, "Oh!" And he didn't get the full Wilhelm death, but he pretty much did.
Yeah, it was about as close.
So I mean, just hearing Boba Fett fucking talk. Like he did in the Clone Wars as a person / clone would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, don't get it confused either. This isn't Jango Fett, everybody. Yeah. It is the same actor.
Right.
It's Boba Fett.
Right. If it's Jango Fett, all I would say would be curious. Like him and Ewan McGregor would just sit there back and forth going, curious. Yeah, Boba huda baha. Right? And he goes in there and shuts the closet.
I'm telling you, man, there's still an opportunity to put him in Kenobi too. You already got him signed on for one Disney Plus show. Just throw him in Kenobi.
Yeah, why not? He can be
Kenobi.
I mean, this motherfucker, he's going to be the busiest Star Wars actor ever because he's going to be playing Rex, Cody, Boba, you name it, Wolf, any fucking clone that survived, man. Sign Tamara up.
Bring him back into the fold. Just keep him on the payroll. Just have him around the office.
I like the dude too. I mean, I liked him from obviously the prequels, but I mean, he's Aquaman's dad.
Tamira Morrison actually used to be one of the most common guests before Disney bought Star Wars. That they would have at the Disney parks, they would have Star Wars weekends and stuff like that, where you would have actors from the movies come and give speeches, do the parade and everything like that at the park. And he was one of the more common ones that you would see. Like, he was there. I went to probably 4 or 5 Star Wars weekends, and he was there for every one of them. And
wow, that just goes to show you. I mean, he needs some work. So, yeah. I mean, this Disney Plus stuff could be a dream come true for a guy that played a clone.
Yeah, exactly. Unlimited roles.
Yes, like unlimited power. We're not done with the Mando yet, and this is a tag it to a banker. I mean, Giancarlo again.
Yeah,
has been the all-star promoter, little insight sprinkler for the Mandalorian season 2. I mean, I don't know if this guy's gotten yelled at this point in time with some of the shit he's saying in interviews. But I'm starting to think that we can pretty much take him at his word whenever he says something as fact. And just recently, he was doing an interview with somebody. That doesn't matter, right? Because he wasn't doing an interview with us, so who gives a shit?
Not People Magazine, because it wasn't the magazine. It was the online arm of People, whatever.
Oh, yeah, because he was, I mean, did he win the Emmy? I know Mando won, I believe, 7 out of the 15 noms, which is fucking money. And Ludwig won for the music.
Yeah.
I don't think Giancarlo, who knows? Either way, Mando, bravo. We're not going to go through their wins. Good for them. They won awards. But here's what he said. We're living in a universe that is huge, and there's so much to explore. So I think the show is going to lay the groundwork for the depth and breadth that's going to come in season 3 and season 4, where you're really going to start to get answers. Okay.
I mean, that is basically hard confirmation that it's at least 4 seasons.
Yes.
Not that it ends at 4, that it's at least 4.
Right. He's pretty much saying, hey, a lot of shit you're going to see, you saw last season and this season, we're still not going to even get close to revealing the big end game, right? Mm-hmm. The big end game, like, why is all this happening? But he said, we'll be laying the groundwork. And, maybe by end of 3-4, you're going to start seeing exactly what's going on. So he excels at these little just kind of juicy, open-ended nothing statements, but there's a ton to unpack in there.
Giving a ton of information without really giving any, like, it's a ton of information to know that Mando is planned for at least 4 seasons, but logically we could have probably figured that out. We know
3's guaranteed. I mean, 3 is definitely. I mean, Favreau was writing it.
He's already working on it.
Right. So that is guaranteed. 4. I mean, we're not stupid. I mean, why do you think Mando Mondays popped up? Lucasfilm understands they have a juggernaut on their hands now. So I think there are probably plans to keep this thing going, maybe Walking Dead style.
Yeah,
for a decade or more, and have shit spin out of it and start their own series. But I guess it's just nice to know, like, hey, for the next 2 years, unless we all kill each other, Mando is being written in a way that they're laying groundwork for some big narrative reveals down the road.
Yeah, and I mean, given what he's saying, that these things are coming season 3 and season 4, it almost seems like, his character of Moff Gideon is going to be around that long too. It's not like he's going to be a one-off, one-season villain, but potentially we could see Moff Gideon last the entire breadth of seasons, 1 through 4, which would be really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is. You never know. You really don't know, especially with the shit he said. Like, he's going to be having conversations with Din. He's going to be working with Din. He's going to be alone with the child. And this is just all in season 2.
Yeah. But I mean, it's almost like, when you play those video games, it's typically RPGs where, like, right when you start the game, you see the end game boss. Like 15 minutes into the game, you're like, holy shit. And then, like, they make you, like, whack at the end game boss for a little bit. You can't beat him. But Then later down the line, he's there through the whole game, but then bang, at the very end of the game, you fight him, and then finally you take him down.
You've learned your lessons. You've got the right gear now. You know, you got the special magic. You can take him out.
Yeah, that could potentially be what we're seeing with Moff Gideon, is like you get an early reveal, but you know that this is, you know, he is going to be around for a little while.
Yeah, or he could be, you know, kind of how The Walking Dead sprinkled in their main antagonists. He's there for a couple seasons, does some major shit, pushes, you know, the good guy's story along, and then, here comes a Negan. Oh, you guys thought you had it bad with these people. Now fucking Negan's here. And now, you know, the Whisperers have taken over the Negan villain. Or he could be just like we had throughout the first 3 films, 4 through 6. Your big bad was essentially Vader. I mean, they mentioned the Emperor. He showed up at the end. Mm-hmm. You know, so Moff could just be consistently the one that is always thwarting Mando, and Mando's always trying to thwart his ass. But I love Esposito being involved. We did get from the Peanut Gallery that apparently he did win an Emmy.
Okay, congratulations.
Which doesn't surprise me. The guy's a fucking pimp. I mean, the guy kills everything he does. I mean, he'll be great voicing in that Far Cry game that's coming out. You know he will be. So, cheers to Giancarlo and giving us stuff without really giving us anything.
Yeah. Again, a lot of information without a lot of information spoiled.
This is a good one from J. Drew in the Peanut Gallery here. He's asking, will we get a season of the show where Mando is literally searching for the child the whole season? And I wouldn't see why not. I mean, it would be a great way to end too. He loses him, and that's the cliffhanger. You know, we all love that. I mean, a lot of us bitch like we want everything right away, but we also love when a show ends a season on just an absolutely insane cliffhanger, because then you're just going like, oh fuck, like what is gonna happen? They got the fucking baby. Yeah,
I mean, now that we know what we know too about, you know, the Emperor being alive, the Eternal Emperor on Exegol, his resurrection plan, and everything like that, there could be a thread tied all the way from this show to the end of the Skywalker saga in its entirety, because you would figure that if you're trying to literally resurrect somebody's Force essence, then you might need a Force infusion, and what better to come from than, you know, a powerful Force being like the baby. And, you know, maybe Moff Gideon is one of the few people out there who know of this plan. He was one of the few Imperial officers that was given this information. I mean, there's a lot that could come of this show, especially given the people that are involved, and then, you know, this overhanging this overhanging narrative thread of the baby's Force powers.
Well, I mean, we could almost set this up. I mean, Din doesn't know a Jedi from his ass in a hole in the ground, right? Yeah, I mean, he could very easily get duped into giving it to a shithead.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said last week.
Right, and then he realizes, like, kind of like episode 3, where he completes his mission. He turns that poor little thing over. Yeah. But it eats him. And it's not till he sees the little shifter knob that he's like, you fucking jerk off. Like, you're a jerk off. And he goes back and gets him. So, I mean, that's a good question from Drew there. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know if he would search the whole season, because I think fans would have strokes if they had to live with that anxiety, you know, just in between season 2 and 3, and then until he reunites with them again. But I could see, you know, maybe not until the end of the season premiere, or maybe the second episode of the season where he gets him back, and we kind of shift into the whole new thread. Because, I mean, let's be real, we can't really say it for this show, but most season-based television, the penultimate episode tends to wrap that current season's main thread, while the final episode starts laying the groundwork for the new season. Yeah. That didn't technically happen in season 1 of Mando, because, I mean, episode 8, it wrapped the whole Gideon standoff, this, that, and the other
7
thing.
Ended on a pretty hard
Exactly. So Mando didn't follow that formula, but that formula is used in pretty much any other program out there. I mean, I'm just now going through The Sopranos, like I said, and the end of season 1. I mean, episode 12, most of the big shit happens. In 13, it's just kind of like resolving some of the season 1 big stuff, but also kind of laying, setting up the picnic table and all the fixings for season 2. So we could see that happen now that the show has, it's proven itself. They've already talked about they're going to try different things with the narrative. It's not just going to be Mando-centric in terms of its delivery. So yeah, that'd be fun. Good question there from the Peanut Gallery.
No, yeah, I like that. I like that idea. So keep your eyes open for 2 more years at least. Mando.
Oh, again, sorry, Peanut Gallery, those listening. I know you don't get to get involved. You just got to join the live streams. But a lot of people have been addressing the Pedro rumor. We didn't talk about it because it's bullshit. All right, Grace Randolph, Mike Zero, Doomcock, Cosmic Book News. These people like to play in the nonsense, toxic Star Wars clickbait shit. And it works. I mean, they get a ton of fucking play and views, and they have large audiences, and our fans obviously get wind of it and are asking us. But if shit doesn't show up on Reddit, that should be your litmus test of how much bullshit it is. And back to the Pedro thing. What's his name, Nick? Phil? Is it Stroke, Strizik?
It's Shostak.
Yeah, whatever the fuck his name is.
Phil Shostak.
But I mean, he just put out on Twitter that he visited Mando like the last month of production, and Pedro is hanging out having a good time. And the story is Pedro hates life. He quit because he doesn't like wearing the helmet anymore. It's just like, you fucking dumb fucks.
Yeah. I mean, and look, here's the thing. If you want to worry about anything in terms of Mando, like the actors themselves and what could potentially derail the show, you should be more worried about Pedro and Gina, because we talked about this a little bit. Like, Gina's an idiot on Twitter, and she's been doing some really questionable things in terms of.
Is she still going? I mean, I don't actively monitor shit. If it pops up on like my Star Wars feeds, I'll look at it. But
at this point, like, she's come out and said that she supports everybody's,
so someone got into her ear then, said, hey,
she
what's
supports everybody's right to be whatever they want and stuff like that. But there was, like, she was going out there and she had a lot of controversial things to say about the transgender, community. Okay,
so that was legit. And she was like actively blocking.
I don't know if she was actively blocking, but she definitely did have a long thread conversation where she's saying that she doesn't care. Like, she doesn't understand the purpose of like putting the he, him, she, her pronouns and people's, stuff like that. And she basically dismissed a lot of what transgender people consider important things.
I really do not understand those who take up their own time and brain power to worry about what other people want to do with their lives.
Yeah. And then
who gives a shit?
Yeah. And then Pedro on his Twitter very prominently has in his headline, Pedro Pascal, he/him. So if you want to have any sort of like, oh my God, this is going to wreck Mando, it may be that, Pedro is very firmly transgender.
He's not someone trying to get in trouble where.
Yeah. And then.
But it's to say, it's Gina, like, I'm not someone that feels the need that I have to list my pronouns. It's just something I don't think about. But those that want to, fine. Who fucking cares? Like, I don't understand. There's people, especially in this country, that it drives them mad. Like, there's people that want to enact legislation over how people want to live. It's fucking crazy. Who gives a shit? Worry about your own fucking self. The golden rule. You don't need fucking God. The golden fucking rule. Do unto those as you want done unto yourself, you fucks.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know why. And then also, I just don't understand why celebrities in general, like why Gina found it necessary to even respond to those
morons, man.
Tweets.
Fucking no brain, like legitimately zero brain power, zero foresight. Any of these people, and like you get cancel culture. It's not cancel culture. They're the ones fucking putting stupid shit out there. Yeah, you can say whatever you want, but private companies can also do whatever the fuck they want. That's also a freedom, you Constitution reading fucks. Everyone quoting shit they have no idea about. Yeah. It's my right to be in a store. No, it's not. Someone owns that fucking store. And if they want you to wear a mask, or if they want you to walk in with a plunger up your asshole, you're going to have to do it if you want to shop there.
Yeah, dude, that's a privately owned business, so
fucking
they can do whatever.
Idiots.
But I mean, just go look at Pedro on social media. I mean, you could say whatever you want that he hates the Mandalorian.
Get out of here.
He doesn't enjoy his time on the show
it's
or anything
bullshit.
like that. Like his fucking Twitter feed is filled with, look at this, Mandalorian. Mandalorian, congratulations, winning 7 Emmy Award. Every Emmy Award that they got, he retweeted.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a shame, man.
Mando lover.
It's a shame. It's why I fucking hate trying to be somewhat in this Star Wars fan universe that we've got ourselves into. Because we talk like shit, or I talk like shit. I wouldn't say our show's really meant for kids, but we really don't do a lot of fuckery in terms of just putting out shit to put out shit so people go, ooh, or just trying to stir the pot to stir the pot. But people live for this. I mean, it's the whole doom scrolling stuff. All humans want now is to be miserable, and it makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense.
It's go watch, if you guys haven't already, just talking about social media and doom scrolling, go watch on Netflix The Social Dilemma.
I've heard about this. I don't even think I could handle watching something like this, because I think my eyes would fucking pop out of my head.
I think it's like,
people don't understand. All this shit is literally programmed by other humans to fuck you up. They know it. Facebook knows it. Twitter knows it. Insta knows it. They literally get in there and tweak their code to show you shit that they know is going to get you crazy because it means more clicks.
Just go watch it. It's good. Like Taylor and I watched it, but we're both we're literally social media professionals, marketing professionals. So like we watched it and we're like, yeah, of course. Like, yes, we know how this works. Yes, we know that it does that. And then both of us are pretty good about not being on social media all that much. Like if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I haven't made a post in fucking God knows.
Yeah, Nick doesn't do shit. I do a lot of stuff because of these dumb ventures we get into in the toy photography. But I am a doom scroller. I'm sitting here yelling, and I'm the same fucking idiot that I'm yelling at.
Yeah,
but it's because I've programmed my social media to make me feel like shit. It's me. I've done it.
I think it's worth it. It's worth a watch, even if you know it exists, because then you get to see a little bit more like
how evil it is. Like it's fucking humans doing this to humans, and they know it, and they're profiting from it and loving it. Like, I think Facebook should go to hell. Like, literally, Facebook, everyone there should go to fucking hell if you believe in hell. Because they actively know what the fuck they're doing, and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's tough to... I mean, it's machines. It's machines that are built to literally have you stay on there as long as possible. You're right, Nick,
but the machines can't do shit until people tell them what to do. And the programmers are the ones telling these machines to... Hey, Nick clicks on this stuff, so show it to him a lot. He'll click more, and then maybe he'll get him upset, and he'll share it. And it's madness.
It's definitely built to present things to you that it knows that you will interact with.
And most
which
of
is why I don't really interact with things on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. Like I'll go through and I'll look at it, and even looking at it, they can tell how much, like when you spend time looking at something a little bit more, but still the less you interact, the less it can actually affect you in terms of your humanity.
Damn straight.
So
it's just this fucking Instagram's what got me all worked up. It's like I need the interaction on my toy photography. I don't really get that, but all the other stuff I don't need. I literally don't need. I should if I deleted Hootsuite, my life would be a lot better. I wouldn't sit here and think about the end of the world every fucking 2 seconds, but either way, if we're still here in 2022, we'll be getting season 4, hopefully, of The Mandalorian. Who's going to be playing? Boba Fett will be playing Din Djarin because Pedro Pascal hates Disney. Cara Dune will be replaced by who's going to take her role?
Oh man, Cara will
they'll resuscitate IG-11. No, IG-11 will just magically come back to life and be called Cara 11.
Yeah.
But here we are. There's
our 2 cents on Mando, or Pedro doesn't like wearing the helmet. Also, like I said last week too, Pedro doesn't wear the helmet most of the time. It's stomp people.
Yeah, right. Oh, we did get, I forgot to tell you, I don't know if you saw it, Nick, but we did sell another hat.
Oh, we got, actually, I did check that. We only have 8
Brando
hats remaining.
Calrissian is in here right now. He snagged the hat. And our German buddy, SWTBS, I think that's what it is. SWTTBS.
SWTBS Wild.
There you go. His hat showed up. Like, I mean, we got a hat to Germany quicker than Canada.
That's weird, but
hey,
I don't
in terms of the Australia shipment, who the fuck knows where that's at this point in time?
Greg's about to fly to the Chicago airport himself and just pick him up.
You got to talk to Captain Twinkle Tits about that. But Greg, speaking of Greg, how about last week? You gotta love him. Greg shoots the first shot over the bow at Kessel Run's transmissions. It was fucking hilarious. You gotta love that guy. I mean, dude, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I guess that's what I asked for, and he did it. But he's like, "Yo, fuck these." It's gone. It was a story, but it was pure Greg. He's basically like, "Yo, fuck these assholes. I love the Star Wars Time show. Eat a dick." It's like, yeah.
If you look at Star Wars leaks now, there's no leaks.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally like Star Wars leaks is now like, here's the official Mando season 2 trailer. Here's an article from Hollywood Reporter. Here's an article from Deadline.
Right.
Here's something directly from StarWars.com. Like, there's no leaks on there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Greg took down KRT, but I think they replied to him with an LOL. So
they did. They hit him with the LOL.
That goes to show you how puny we are. Because then we all I have to do is look at any of our social accounts, like, okay, these guys are fucking jerk offs. So there we go.
But yeah, that was good. He's sending the shots across.
That's my
already.
boy Greg. You gotta love the guy.
I guess the KRT janitor that they had as their source got fired from, you got late.
Well, I forgot. Like the one guy's like, if this doesn't hit, I'm never doing scoops again. It's like, well, it didn't hit, so you better
should
stick to your word.
Bye.
All right, dude. So kind of shifting out of Mando, a lot of good stuff there. I mean, it's a little more than a month away, but it'll be here before you know it. I'm kind of enjoying the downtime now because I know once the 30th hits, I'm looking at least 8 weeks of intense Fridays. We were talking on our Discord, Nick. I don't know if you saw this, but apparently you can group watch in Disney Plus now.
I saw that they released that function.
We were thinking of maybe some sort of Star Wars time show watch party. I mean, obviously I'll have seen it like 9 times before I get to that version, but it could be fun, something to do, at least with the hardcore degenerates that come to the live stream and then show up in Discord. I hope Tones is all right. He's usually always here. I'm a little concerned that he's not here. A few others have dropped out just because they've gotten back to normal life. Cryo, Baron is working. But anyways, comic time, Nick. Comics time, and I hope they don't keep up this release schedule with Darth Vader 2020 and the proper Star Wars 2020, because if they do, we're getting essentially double drop weeks every month going out. Because last week we got Darth Vader number 5 2020, and then we got Star Wars number 6 2020, and they sort of cross-reference each other, which was kind of neat. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with Vader here. Nico saying on the group watch you can only do 6 at a time. Well, hey Nico, it's a Star Wars time show. I don't think we have more than 6 dedicated fans anyway, so we'll try it out.
Get 6 fans going, and
I'm up for it. Maybe we'll do it on like Saturdays or whatever, in like middle of the day, so we can get some of the international fans. Who knows? Yeah. We'll see what we can work out. But right now it's comic book time. So quick note, spoilers here for Darth Vader number 5. If you're into reading shit, you might want to tune out for a bit. I'm not going to recap the whole damn thing, but I am going to kind of go over the bigger moments. That's what I do. I put these videos out and mostly recap what I find to be the interesting new canon entries that they provide, as well as any Easter eggs from past Star Wars. So Vader number 5, Nick, was essentially the end of this first run. You know how they typically do a volume. It'll tell a tale. This tale, we've seen Vader essentially kick his son's ass and get pissed because he thinks his son is a wuss. So he goes on a journey looking for those who may have made his son a wuss. And when we last left Vader, he was on Naboo. He was fucking with the Amidalans.
Yep.
He was at Padme's tomb, essentially. So we pick right back up there, and he is literally using the Force to disturb his dead wife's tomb because he's kind of a dick.
He is.
But he has one of his flashbacks to when he was actually killing his wife and choking her out. And because we know Anakin's still in there, at that point, he pauses. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm not going to destroy the tomb. But he opened it enough to allow Zed the robot to scan, and lo and behold, they find a medical implant. And what does this medical implant give Vader? Well, it gives him the location of an iconic Star Wars planet, Polis Massa.
Yeah.
And you may be asking, where the fuck is that? And I'll tell you. It is that moon base that Kenobi, Bail, and any of the survivors rendezvoused at, and it's the birthplace of the space twins. Yes. The Skywalker babies were born on Polis Massa. So Vader finds this out, and that's when he's like, okay, I'm getting somewhere. I think I'm finally going to figure out who was doing shit with Padme and who potentially could have done something with my son. So naturally, he heads over to Polis. He doesn't even fuck with the Amidalans. He's like, whatever, I'm going here. If you want to follow me, have at it. Because he's a fucking pimp, right? He's a fucking pimp. We're talking about Darth Vader.
It's like, what are you going to do?
Pretty much. I mean, the Death Troopers are ready to shoot him as Vader's leaving Naboo. And he's like, hey, fucking chill out. Just let him go. Who cares? So he and the bot, they arrive on Polis. It's been blown up by the Empire, but we can still see some of the structures we see in Revenge of the Sith. And we get an egg right away. We've got one of those midwife droids there that literally has a shovel on its hands. Yeah, I've always thought this, like, George, a little graphic for Revenge of the Sith, but they literally have, I'm going to call it's like a pussy shovel. Go back and watch Revenge of the Sith and tell me I'm not wrong.
No, I know
it's literally shaped almost like a dildo that's hollowed out so it could kind of go in there and scoop out the baby. Right? Okay, I'm sorry. Got to get graphic. But, it's a big boy show. So we get an Easter egg there. And they start kind of scanning for information. Did anyone leave any logs? Because Vader really is like, okay, this is the place. I'm going to find something here. I'm going to find what I've been looking for. And they find something. They get the holo recordings of Padme's ship coming in with Kenobi on the radio. And what do you think that does?
That sends him probably into a rage.
Yeah, our buddy Vader still has a little bit of a grudge for Kenobi at this point. And mind you, Nick, he's already fucking killed him. Okay? This is post-Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. Still, like, this is a static comic book. Yeah. And when the bot said Kenobi, you could fucking see Vader seething under the helmet. Like, I knew that fucker had a hand in Padme's final moments and possibly the birth of my son, my pussy son.
I mean, he's got 2 legs and an arm worth of grudge, so that doesn't go away too easily.
Yeah, so, all right, so he gets that information. And at this time, lo and behold, what do you think happens? Well, the Amidalans show up with a fleet.
Oh my god!
A fleet. Vader walks out to the balcony, pissed as fuck, like he has got the dark side raging now because he heard the name Kenobi. Again, he's killed the guy. He's exacted supposedly his revenge on Kenobi at this point in time, but he's still fucking pissed. So, what do you think he does to the fleet?
I imagine he would just take them out.
By himself. Literally by himself. A few of the Death Troopers were on some cannons and flanked them, but he is ripping ARC 170s out of the sky with the Force, Naboo N1 starfighters with the Force. Wow. Literally just creates a pile of bodies and wrecked spaceships. In what felt like 30 seconds, he essentially takes on the Amidalan fleet and ground forces and annihilates them.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do versus it's Darth fucking Vader? Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
Yeah, it would just shows you what he can do when he is angry and when he can focus his anger, in particular that Kenobi anger. I mean, the guy took out a fucking fleet. I'm not talking 2 ships. I'm talking upwards of 12 fighters and ground forces. And it was him and like 3 Death Troopers, and they win.
Yeah, he's a badass motherfucker.
Now, the tricky part comes in. After all that, he still doesn't quite have that information. But what do you think happens? They roll up on the baby scooper, right?
So the actual matron droid.
Yes, the midwife droid that was used to deliver the twins. They roll up on it, and because Vader's Vader and he's got some technical know-how, he gets it back on, and he gets it to play its last message. And this last message is an egg itself, because it is Padme's dying words, essentially, to Kenobi saying,
they're still good.
In him. They're still good in him, Ben, essentially.
Yeah.
And there, again, you can see under Vader in a static format, like this is a comic book page, you can just see the depression and grief just rush through him like, I did it. I fucking killed her. She still loved me when she died, but because Kenobi's involved, he's allowed to kind of gloss over on that, and he just, again, gets angry. They roll out, and by they, I mean him and Zed, until Zed says, she mentioned Kenobi again. She must have been really fond of him, and that ended Zed's life. Vader chops him in half, heads back to his master, and just as he thinks he's about to get a good boy Vader from Palpatine essentially says, you went on that mission to strengthen your anger, and you come back and you're nothing but full of grief, you fucking wuss. And lights up his fingers. Comic over. We're going to pick up in issue 6. Ooh, so it looks like Vader's going to get a little of that Palpatine lightning motivation for coming back still mentally broken over all of his acts that he committed as Anakin/Vader.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty strong end to that little arc there, that Amidala, Naboo arc. I mean, but like, what else can Vader do now? I mean, like, he's found most of the information, I guess, if he's looking for you. So now you know that, Kenobi was
right. That's what I was going to say. So, I mean, he knows for a fact now that Kenobi had a large hand in his son's hiding his son from him.
Yeah.
He's probably put 2 and 2 together now. Hey, they probably trained together, this, that, and the other. But he knows now that Kenobi was the one responsible for hiding the kids, or being there, being present at Padme's death. Padme still having, reverence for Kenobi. All that just kind of solidified his grudge against the man. But it also, and again, I always got to keep reminding myself and everyone, this is post-Empire Vader.
Yep.
He had just admitted he has a kid. His kid got away. He's getting some goofy feelings rushing through him now. And this little journey he went on through issues 1 through 5, while he was hoping would just reinforce his hate, because of the Sith, their hate increases their power. But ultimately, as Palpatine figured out, all it did was weaken him. It brought the grief back out, the depression, and that is not the mindset Palpatine was hoping his pupil would return in.
Yeah.
So it was an all right issue. I mean, again, it was kind of a closer, so I wouldn't say it was my favorite of the 5, but it was good. It was Vader. We got the good old Vader moment, badass moment, which we usually get once a Vader comic. And then return to Paulus Massa, and just how Vader is slowly learning canon now, how his wife and kids were, kind of how their end of days played out, or her end of days and his kids' beginning of days.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the Vader comic. I'm going to move on to Star Wars number 6. We're still focused on Luke's journey here, and I'll try to go quicker on this one. That was a little bit too long of a segment, in my opinion. Pretty much recapped the whole thing, but here, Star Wars 6. So we left Luke. He was basically getting murdered by Verla in a water pit. He was fucked. So we pick up right there, and we get our first new little canon entry. and it's the fact that R2-D2 truly is the real hero of the Age of Rebellion. Like at this point in time, there is no blowing up the second Death Star without R2, because if it weren't for R2, Luke Skywalker dies in a water hole. He did die in a water hole. Like Luke fucking died in this issue.
Oh, Jesus.
Like he drowned. He fucking drowned. But because R2 was there, he was able to shock Verla, break out his master, and resuscitate him. So right there again, just like in episode 1, if it weren't for R2, there
would be no Star Wars.
There are no Skywalker twins. There is no Luke and Leia. Okay? Because Padme's dead. So this is, again, just another out of many examples where R2 really saves the destiny or saves the day for the good guys.
There we go.
So I thought that was interesting. It's just like, I mean, no one ever, I think, gives R2 his proper praise.
I mean, the fans might be giving him proper, reverence.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
did see
droid battle.
I did see the BattleBot update. So I think I know where that went. But so that was kind of neat. But anyways, the comic just kind of plays out to show us just how good of a human Luke really is. It just shows you how much of a foil he is to his dad at this point, because Verla tried to murder him.
Yep.
She admits to trying to murder him, yet all Luke can do after he is resuscitated is just talk to her like a nice guy, make amends, and try to figure out where he can find a working lightsaber. Like he's like a Mr. Rogers character.
Yeah, literally the person that your murderer, the person that did kill you, and you're just like, look, I understand. You're probably scared, and
it was just. I mean,
okay.
you could see how good natured he is, and I guess if you want to contrast it to what he becomes in TLJ, it just goes to show you how hardcore Ben Solo's turn fucked him. Yeah, like literally just broke the man, because. At this point in time in this issue, he's still as the Mr. Rogers of the Star Wars universe. I mean, you're waiting for him to bust out a sweater and put on some tennis shoes and sing a nice song to you.
Yeah. Welcome to the neighborhood.
So to make a long story short, Verla's like, listen, motherfucker, you're an asshole. Anyone trying to be a Jedi, they're going to get killed. You're nuts. I tried it. I had Inquisitors and Vader up my ass left and right until I came here and essentially marooned myself and built booby traps. But I can tell I'm not going to talk you out of it. So here are coordinates to a High Republic era Jedi outpost.
There you go.
So that was a nice,
bringing in the new stuff.
Nice little canon nod there. So Luke's like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to head out there, even though she's like, dude, I went there. There's some funky shit there. I don't know if it's dark side voodoo or whatever, but any Jedi that goes there typically gets fucked up or leaves without the trophy being, any Jedi artifacts that are contained within the outpost. So he heads out there. He ends up at this Jedi outpost. It's on Tempest, Tempes, right?
Yep.
And he gets there, and here we go. We got some Easter eggs. There's a holocron sitting there. I mean, you have the Jedi sigils on the door. The door only opens with a force touch. You can see Temple Guardian armor there, and lo and behold, you see a Temple Guardian lightsaber, the yellow variant. So, in this issue, we figure out once and for all how Luke did end up with a yellow lightsaber. I mean, this was teased months ago when we saw the cover of issue 6 and Luke holding a lightsaber. And I was like, well, how'd that happen? Well, here we go. Verla sent him to a High Republic era Jedi outpost. As soon as he grabs it, a trap is sprung, Nick, and the trap is none other than I'm guessing the eternally vanquished spirit of the Grand Inquisitor.
Okay.
The bald guy, the guy I think was introduced in Star Wars Rebels and has been further fleshed out in the video games and the comics themselves.
Yeah.
So it seems to me, and he explains it to Luke, essentially the Vader has set up this Jedi outposts as a Jedi trap over the years to snag Jedi they have missed, snag Force users they had missed through Order 66, through the Inquisition, his own murder of Force users. So Vader and the Emperor essentially banished the Grand Inquisitor's, I have to call it a spirit. Yes, but remember, Sith can't do that, so I don't really know what the fuck this is. He comes back and he's literally on fire. He's not a blue spirit like a Jedi, and he can interact with the real world, because after he tells Luke what's up, he's like, "Listen, motherfucker, you just fell into a trap. You're gonna get your ass kicked," so on and so forth. So they start fighting. Obviously, Luke is a Skywalker. He's putting up a fight, but as soon as they start fighting, who do you think senses something happening across the galaxy?
Poppy Vader probably can
That
tell.
is right. So as they usually do, the Star Wars run is starting to bleed into the Vader run a little bit, because Vader senses this. This is a trap he set up, but because he's sensing some Skywalker juice, literally feels it from across the galaxy.
Yeah.
So he pieces out. He's on his way to the outpost now. We get back to the fight. The Inquisitor, he's a tough motherfucker. He's on fire. Who knows what the fuck he is? Sith ghosts, whatever. But Luke, again, he's a Skywalker. He's had a little bit of training from Kenobi. He's had a little bit of training from Yoda. He's getting there. He's no pushover. And the Inquisitor's starting to sense this. And so is Luke. Luke's like, "Listen, motherfucker, I'm no pushover." So Luke gets the upper hand, essentially slices the dude in half. Guess he disappears. Luke has his yellow lightsaber. He heads back to the rebellion. Leia's like, "Dude, I'm so glad you're back. I'm so glad you found the lightsaber. You completed your mission. But everyone's kind of feeling sorry about themselves around here. Could you just give us your best He-Man impression with that saber and hold it above your head, loud and proud, and ignite it, and maybe give these rebels some hope?" And he does. So it's a nice little shot. That's how Luke's thread ends. But we kind of get a little stinger at the end. Vader did ultimately show up at the outpost, and he learns through the Inquisitor that he missed capturing Luke there, but the person that beat the Inquisitor's ass definitely strong in the Force. And Vader essentially looks at the Inquisitor and says, "Nice try, loser. You will stay and keep doing my bidding." So he's essentially keeping this spirit, in eternal Sith hell, which is
so you can't even.
No, he can't.
Even his defeat did not free him.
Correct. Like he can't leave this outpost. Nothing. He's just meant to sit there and suffer and burn.
Man, that's crazy. Because even in KOTOR, old canon, if you were once you go through the Sith tombs and Korriban towards the end of the game, in one conversational path, you can actually fight Ajunta Paul, but then once you fight his spirit, then he is and you defeat him, he's banished or freed or whatever happens to him.
Apparently, I think Vader 6 may kind of touch on what the fuck Vader and the Emperor did to the Grand Inquisitor to get him in this state. Because like I said, they do kind of cross over with threads here and there. So I'll see.
I was going to say, do you think that eventually these two threads may come to a convergence point at both of their ends?
Yeah, I do. Okay. It's one issue will kind of get into it, the other one might finish it. But it usually happens where at least a thread from one of the issues crosses into the next. Yeah. And really the Star Wars is starting a whole new run, because we're on issue 6 and they typically do 5 full issues that tell its own little narrative. Yeah. Where 1 through 5 kind of told a story of how Luke, Leia, and Lando went back to Cloud City to look for shit. But ended with Luke kind of starting his own mission, and now it looks like it may focus back on Luke being back with the rebellion.
Yeah,
but it's good stuff, man. I mean, those are my comic canon recaps and eggs for you. It seems we won't be getting any more till next month. I wish these would get back to at least staggered week. Star Wars 1 week, Vader the next. I don't even like doing 2 recaps on the show because I start to feel like I'm losing everyone's attention. But it becomes story time. So there we go. Those are our comic book updates. I will commit to Star Wars and Vader 2020. I've given up on the Bounty Hunter and the Afro runs. They just weren't doing it for me.
Not very interesting, but Comixology, Marvel Comics app, and if you want to brave physical comic book locations, then they are also available there.
We got Jay Rue in the chat real quick, and he actually left a comment on my Luke video, so thanks for watching that, buddy. Appreciate it. I need more of you to watch some of these videos so I don't feel like such an asshole for wasting my time to get 30 views. But as they say, it's not about the views, right? It's just about the community and the content. But what Jay Rue's saying, or Drew, however we're going to say that handle, he was putting out there, and this is kind of tying into Mandalorian Season 2 trailer, Sasha Banks. He's speculating, could Sasha be playing Verla?
That's,
Now, I mean, Verla in the comic, she looks older than Sasha Banks. I don't know if that's just because she has, that silver white hair. It sounds like she was around at the fall of the Republic.
Well, yes, and Sasha looks young.
Right. I'm not saying it's a bad guess. I don't know if the timelines match up.
Yeah, because you have to figure if Mando is happening 6 to 7 years post ROTJ, then you're probably roughly, let's call it 8 to 9 years out from ESB.
Yeah, I mean, Verla to me would be older looking than what Sasha looks like. I mean, we didn't see Sasha's hair. She could have fucking white hair underneath that hood. You don't know. But in terms of the actress's appearance, age-wise, I don't know if it works. I'm not saying that. I mean, it's a nice little speculation piece to think on. I just don't know timeline-wise if the character would work for Sasha Banks.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good little piece of speculation.
The other point, he is right. There is a scene where we see Mando getting drowned under a cage, just like she did to Luke. So there is that. Verla is definitely known to try and drown people to death.
Yeah.
No, it would be neat. I mean, you never know with Filoni and Favreau, especially Filoni. I mean, the guy will pull lore out of any medium, I think, at this point, and sprinkle it in if it makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. Like he will literally use every piece of the carcass. Yeah, he'll use the head, he'll use the tail, he'll use the snout.
It wouldn't be bad. I mean, obviously she had a Force connection, never fully pursued it, but I mean, those people are going to be out in this universe, and they probably are still fearful to show themselves after living under Palpatine's rule for all those years and literally being hunted. Yeah. I mean, you understand, a lot of Jedi were just straight wiped out. Others, like Verla, either tried to lose their connection to the Force or just stayed in hiding and were like, fuck it, ain't worth it.
Yeah, man. So we may see that happen in Mando Season 2. Likely not, but it's a
Good stuff. I'm telling you, these comics always are entertaining. If you really like the Star Wars outside of what you get in moving images or the books, these are perfect for dopes like me, where I prefer the moving images over words and shit. But I love Star Wars so much, I'm not willing to just completely ignore all types of words and shit. So words and shit with real ass paint, I can get down with that.
There we go. It's a good mixture.
I just like how we have so many in the know phrases now that if you are a new listener, you're probably going like, they always make fun of themselves for being stupid and unintelligent, and they're right.
Yeah,
like when they say
the way that they talk,
when they talk about words and shit and real ass paint, you think we're down in fucking Arkansas or Alabama or something. So. All right, man. Well, it's about that time then. We're going to move into the fan segment. We're not going to get to the top 5 quite yet. We've got some other fun stuff planned for you, like the question of the week and the update on the BattleBot tournament. So let's get Slack up and going here.
Yep. We have the question of the week up first, which will be a quicker segment than usual. Usually we do 10 responses, but we only got 5 total responses this week, like Matt said earlier in the show. And look, I'll put it partially on myself. It wasn't a great question this week, but I thought that some of the more creative community members out there would have been able to come up with something good. Apparently not.
We've got some motherfucking Star Wars time show apathy or something. Like, let's go. Let's go. We don't ask you to do too much. We only ask you to make us more known than we are and to give us content. I mean, it's not like we're asking you to actually get on the mics. That may be next. We'll do anything to get more listeners and views, but come on.
So
get involved.
the question of the week this week. We'll kick off with that first and then get to our BattleBots update. Question of the week is, who would be your Star Wars parents? What would you grow up to be?
My answer is Luke and Leia. I want to be a little inbred.
You want to be an incest
I want to
baby,
be I want to be an incest hardcore Force user.
Yeah, I would say you would be like your body would be like a little weird.
My eyes might be permanently crossed, but I'll be a fucking badass with the Force.
Exactly. So that's essentially what it is. Who do you want your Star Wars parents to be? We'll kick off the responses with Darth Hideous, aka Star Wars Toy 73, aka Bostajan in the chat. So Matt, you like to read his responses, so why don't you go ahead and take this one?
Yes, I have to, because I mean, again, he took us on a journey here.
Yeah, he does.
He took us on a journey. All right, here we go. My parents would be nobodies. Just like fucking Rey's parents should have been nobodies. Nobodies that get killed in the war for the Republic so I could hate both sides. So I could channel the hate just like I did with that Trandoshan kid that picked on me. I had to kill him. I reached out with my hate and crushed his heart. I would learn to manipulate people to get what I needed since I was on my own. I'd learned that I could control people with my thoughts and move things with my mind. The angrier I got, the bigger the objects. Like that one time I hovered... What the fuck is this? Come on, Bosajan. Like that one time a hover car careened out of control towards me. With a wave of my hand, I redirected it into a marketplace. I feed on the fear and suffering of those that were injured. Until one day, a robed figure finds me and tells me he senses great things in my future. And then I know I'm finally where I'm supposed to motherfucking be. A Sith, bitches. Look at that. Look at that. And that's like a fucking little story he wrote us. I mean, I screwed it up because I couldn't read. I thought he fucked it up, but he was right. So it was a bad reading by me, but a great response by Star Wars Toy 73 on Instagram, aka Darth Hideous, aka Bosajan.
Yes. So that was a good one. That was probably the best response we got out of the 5 that we got.
I just like how, I mean, he literally, he gets right into the role. I mean, this guy
tells his whole
I mean,
story,
he became the character.
Yeah, he did.
Of the parents.
So I like it. I like the nobody who's filled with hate that joins the Sith. So that was a good story there.
The kid that picked on me. I love it.
Bostajan, aka
Good stuff.
73. Next up, we have a Sith load of Lego. He says, my parents would be Shmi and Watto, and I'd end up being some messed up motherfucker on Tatooine all my life running the streets. Can't quite comment on how I look, though. Shmi Watto, kind of a messed up combo.
Oh, my God. I love it. Yeah, as soon as he said that, I went right to the thinking of what a Shmi Watto baby would look like.
It would be, dude, honestly, there's a lot of Shmi. I mean, in the 5 responses that we got, we have 2 Shmi answers. So the Daily Imperial says, I always thought Qui-Gon and Shmi would be great together, and they should have raised Anakin together.
Holy shit. Like, who knew Shmi would be getting all this love?
I don't know. Maybe a lot of, there were a lot of younger people, watching the prequel trilogy coming up through their teen and preteen.
Shmi, the mother Mary of Star Wars. I mean, look at all you dirty people.
They're trying to.
But I mean, the Daily Imperial's got a point. And so did a Sith load of Lego. I'm still trying to think of a human Toydarian and what the fuck that would look like.
I mean, it did kind of look like there was some, I don't want to say sexual tension between Qui-Gon and Shmi, but there was definitely
he could have banged her. Like,
he definitely could have.
I mean, you got to think about it. It's not like she got any to birth Anakin. I mean, it just fucking showed up in her womb. So
yeah, she's like, oh man, really? I mean, this is how I got to have.
Poor thing's been a slave, so she probably wasn't getting much action. And this long-haired, lovely gentleman shows up to talk the big game and had some Force power. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, they did talk at night. I mean, there were scenes we did not see.
That's true.
But I'm thinking back to a Shmi Watto creation. I would want the head to be humanoid.
And then it to like fly.
But then, yeah, pretty much everything else is Toydarian.
Oh my God, that would be an abomination.
Yeah, there you go. Nico
Man.
Nico said like a pink Gonzo from the Muppets. So yeah,
Kind of. Yeah.
Be all fucking crazy looking. Qui-Gon and Shmi, I think they could have made some very strong looking children. There's no doubt about that.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Liam Neeson's a man.
It's true. So next up, the Darth Dad says he would be an orphan raised by the Empire.
There you go. So he wants to be either a buckethead or like an Admiral Piet, rise in the ranks in the Navy.
Yeah, he wants to get all the way up there, make it all the way through. So, yeah, I like that one. An orphan, it doesn't even matter who his parents are. He just wants the Imperial family.
He literally wants to get abducted by the Imperials and essentially programmed.
Not often do you see that. And then our last response this week is from Action Figure Noob. Are always,
at this point, I mean, if he hideous, if they stop responding, that's why I'm a little concerned about Tones, because he's another one that's usually here and is usually on top of this. I know he's going through some real life shit, so I hope he's all right. But if it gets to the point where Noob and Hideous aren't responding, the segment's over.
We have lost.
Yeah, I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill the fucking segment.
So, all right, Action Figure Noob says, I'd like to pick two people that seemed to be stable, like Obi-Wan and Padme.
Yeah.
If Anakin didn't exist, I think they'd lead pretty boring, straightforward lives. If they hooked up and I was their kid, I'd like to think I'll be living my best life on the high ground in Coruscant.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, Padme was essentially royalty. I mean, she is royalty, political and actual royal.
And real royalty.
And Obi-Wan, until he got a little crazy as a hermit living out there in the Dune Sea, was usually on the up and up and was telling you the truth.
Pretty stable in terms of Jedi.
Yeah, right. I mean, he definitely had his head screwed on straight and would really think shit through. I don't know if he was as closed-minded as the other Jedi. He was influenced by them. I mean, I'm not going to give him a complete pass because he was also just like, hey, nothing's happening to the Jedi. We're good. Yep. The Chancellor, he's fine. No big fucking deal. But I think Action Figure Noob's spot on. Like, those were fairly stable people. The only knock against Padme is that she willingly broke Jedi code by succumbing to Anakin's pee-pee.
Yep. And she would do the same thing for Obi-Wan, apparently.
Yeah.
Action Figure Noob's mind.
Right. So, no, I think whatever spawn they had would be a pretty impressive being in the galaxy. I mean, there's the Force potential, and then there's just a connection to the galactic politics that would be, if it was a boy, a big swinging dick. If it was a girl, a power pussy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would probably be the best combo of the ones.
Yeah, and honestly, that combo didn't even come to mind. I mean, me with how fucked up I am, I'm not kidding. Like, literally, Luke and Leia came to mind first.
Yeah, you were like, I want to be an incest baby.
Right, like it just like I didn't, and I wasn't like pre-thinking about that. It's just right when we got into the segment, I was like, you know what? I didn't even think about what I would pick, and that's right where my fucking demented head went. Yeah, so I think the Obi-Wan Padme, it's very studious pick there. So
I would like to be the love child of Bastilla and Revan.
Oh,
because that's like you want to talk about a super baby. That's a fucking super baby.
Yeah, but they both have the ability to get dark though.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if that works for your personality now. I mean, you definitely have to get a little more pissed off, but I think that pairing is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, because if you play that right, if you play that game right, then you can. I believe you can unlock that actual romantic relationship.
Yeah, I know you can. At least it gives you flirting options with Bastilla.
They get very flirty, but I did not get them to, because I was playing like. When in my KOTOR playthrough, like I played it like I would play it as me. Like a lot of people play that game as I'm all dark, I'm all light, and there's no in between. Like I played it and I'm pretty sure that I'm like gray leaning good, which is typically how I see myself as a human being.
Right.
Like gray leaning good. So I didn't unlock a lot of like you have to go all dark, you have to go all light to get these specific things, but I do think that if those two actually did hook up and have a child, it would be what a force that would be, whether for good or for bad or for neutral, who the fuck knows. I think it would be cool. So there's my answer. So that's the end of the question of the week for this time. Like I said, only 5 responses in total, plus Matt and I both gave our thoughts on the matter as well. So that leads us into our battle bots, the droid throwdown updates for this week. And these are the last two. These are 2 semifinal matchups. So that means our next battle that we get this week is going to be the finals, the ultimate decider of who wins the droid throwdown for the ages. So first up, Matt, we have our HK-47 versus Droideka match.
That's pretty good split there, I think.
Yeah, so 47% for HK, 53% for Droideka. The votes came out as such, and again, we're seeing pretty low interactions on this droid throwdown as well. So maybe we need to rethink our fan segment.
I think there's a few things happening, Nick. One, in America, we've beat the virus, and everyone pretty much is pretending we're back to real life. I'm being serious with some smart ass added to it. Like, it really is. I mean,
people are definitely
we have NFL Sundays back here. I mean, outside no fans in the stadiums, that almost feels normal. My neighborhood, they're having fucking block parties like everything's hunky dory. So I do think a lot of people, A, hopefully are back to work that couldn't work, but B, they're back to doing this all the fuckery that they could waste their time with before COVID. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. I think that is a large part of what's happening.
Or they're just a bunch of lazy assholes and you better fucking pick it up, or we're going to start taking things away from you. It's not like Nick and I need to sit here for 2.5, 3 hours every Tuesday. We cut out the fan segment. We're back to 2 hours or less.
Yeah, 2-hour long shows like we used to. So the voters here, like I said, I'm only going to call out the loser voters, but I will say that there were a lot of.
Maybe that's why they don't vote. Here. You call them losers.
You call them losers.
Yeah,
oh, fucking losers. So losers this week on the HK vote. You have Sir Dork, which is the biggest loser of them all, apparently.
Oh.
Lima 4 Photos, who's our good friend in our Discord channel. You have Star Wars Black Series 2019, Greggy Bird. You have Darth Hideous himself, Star Wars Tour 73. SWTBS Wildwing, a new hat purchaser right there.
Better luck
Baron's
next
Black
time.
Series. Me, I'm a loser. Republic Forces, Camino and Customs. So a lot of
I didn't vote on this one, but I did see the R2 one, so I dropped my stuff over there.
Your vote on there. So those are the loser voters in this one. I really do think that if it came down to it, that HK could win this battle because, I mean, it's an assassin droid versus a battle droid, a war droid. And I know that, droidicas have shields and such, but I think that
HK, again, I mean, I wouldn't call IG an assassin droid. He's more of a bounty.
Bounty
there
hunter,
it was.
Yeah.
He's more of a bounty hunter. From what I remember about HK outside of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is he is much more humanoid-like in terms of movements, abilities, this, that, and the other thing. He's kind of like a shorter K2SO. More human-like in their mannerisms, their personality, so on and so forth. So you would think that would give him an edge over just kind of a brainless, mass-controlled hive mind droideka, right?
Exactly. Like he has greater than human level intelligence. HK-47 does. So in my mind, he would be able to like outsmart it and figure out a way to just not just shoot directly into the shield until he's dead. Like, I mean, that also, as we know, like that shield does not stop against physical like melee attacks.
That's what Baron's Black Series, he kind of got in the Discord last week because he can no longer join the lives, but he still listens to the full show because he's a good person.
Yeah.
And then he'll actually come back in Discord and ask questions or contribute, which again makes him a good person, a good fan. Get on it, people. It's fun. If you like doing the chat during the live chat, it's essentially what happens in Discord. Not as active as the live stream chat is when a show's going, but we get in there, we share some stuff, share some pre-order links, talk some Star Wars bullshit.
Yeah. So So in my opinion, I think HK should have won, but I can see why people would lean towards Droideka here.
I always forget where I went with that, but I was saying is he brought up that fact right there, Nick, and why he picked B2 over Droideka, because the B2 could just physically walk into the shield.
Yeah, just punch it.
Or just punch it down and blast him. So
yeah, so but Droideka moves on, so he will be our first entry into the finals. And then our next one up here was the K2SO versus R2D2 matchup, and you see the love that the community has for R2D2. Yeah,
because a lot of people were talking shit last week, like, oh, it's over, K2's got this, no problem. And then knowing them, they probably didn't vote on the opposite side. But I mean, I personally definitely went with R2D2. And I still don't feel... I mean, it's a 5 seed over 1, not a huge upset, but even in like real fake Star Wars life, I could see this playing out this way. I really could see R2 winning a duel against K2SO just because of his arsenal of gadgets.
Yeah.
And his ability to be mobile in a snap of a finger in a way that K2 could not be.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, he's shifty. He can get around the field of battle, whatever it is, whether it be an octagon or an open field, quicker than K2 can. I feel like this is another case where, like, if K2 gets his hands on R2, though, it's over.
Of course.
Or even if he has a gun, like...
But there's almost... R2 almost has a counter for everything. He grabs him, he could either quick flip out the buzzsaw and chop off an arm or electrocute him.
Yeah.
Which may transfer to R2. I mean, I love how real life we get with this fake stuff.
Yeah, no, it's like if you're a droid and you electrocute another droid while you're in that droid's arms, do you just electrocute yourself too?
That's what I mean. But I mean, I guess that would get him out of his grasp, and if he could boot up faster than K2, he would still have a chance. I mean, I envision R2 just charging, slicking the floor, dropping a smoke screen, bending around the side with his saw out and cutting off his legs. So that gets K2 down to his level. And then at that point, he just charges at him with his entire center console of gadgets pops out, and he just fucking rams him and then starts lights his ass on fire.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could definitely see it going down like that.
Like, R2 is a fucking warrior. He's got a bad attitude sometimes. I don't know. I could see it happen. I could totally see it happening. Like, I don't think this is far-fetched.
No, I agree. So... the voters for K2, I voted for K2 because like I said, if he just, I don't know, I just feel like that. I think what influenced me is just that last scene in Rogue One, and like he's so determined to win at all costs.
He is dedicated to whatever cause he is behind. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. But so is our little man. Like I said, I mean, he saved the mother of the Skywalker twins. He saved Luke himself multiple times. Yeah, he's a resourceful little astromech. Speaking of R2, we actually, other people, and I said this last week in my Mando breakdown, but there are other people out there like, was that R2 in that X-Wing that pulls alongside the Razor Crest and someone else, I think it was Old Architect Customs, or someone in our Discord pointed out, apparently, and this was an egg that I went way over my head, but apparently back in A New Hope, George decided to wrap Red 5, the X-Wing, Luke's X-Wing, one of the S-foils, like one of the actual guns, almost do a barber pole stripe on it of light blue.
Okay.
So you could always tell that was Red 5 during the dogfights. And apparently... that blue striping was on the other X-Wing in that shot from the Mandalorian trailer.
Oh, shit.
And if you watch my video, what I do say is, like, that looks a hell of a lot like R2, but I'm not sure if it's Red 5. So I'm in the fucking know. I kind of know my shit sometimes. This is just me again. This is the Star Wars narcissism coming out to remind people, check out some of my dumb videos sometimes. I may be hitting on what these sites hit on days after. Let's do it!
It could be, yeah. Definitely a good call.
I like Ray in the chat. He's saying R2's basically going to do a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat joystick combination, like a down, diagonal, forward, back roll, square, circle, R1, R2 move.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like it.
So the final matchup is going to be Droideka versus R2D2 that will launch before the next podcast.
The squat bots, battle of the short guys.
Yeah. Two roly bots coming at each other. The K2 voters were me, Tong Wars, Super Scoundrel, Devin, Liam. Then we had True Perry. You had Scissor Me Xerxes, Baron's Black Series, Klondike Studios, Scion, Star Wars Toy 73, Lima 4, and Nico Tronus. So a lot of, again,
sorry, you lose.
Yeah, you guys are all losers along with me. So that is the end of the fan segment for this week, but that will bring us into our top 5 Star Wars Fan Arts Feature of the Week. That is right.
Yep, Nick got it going for us. I just got to get the screen back up and running so we can see what the hell we're talking about. Bada bing, bada boom. Just like that, it's almost like I know what computers can do.
Computers are very powerful.
All right, so like as Nick said, if you are new to this, which I doubt there are many new listeners, we've pretty much settled into our monthly cadence at this point. We're doing about a little over 2,000, about 500 an episode. We'd like that double, tripled, quadrupled, septupled, tentupled, if that's even a word. It's not. But this time next year, if we're still talking about 2,000 people, I think Matt's going to talk about retiring finally.
Matt may.
But anyways, this part of the fan segment, really all the fan segment stuff, the best way to get involved is to follow us and monitor us weekly on Instagram at Star Wars Time Show. That's where the fan question stuff goes up. That's where the battle polls go up. That is our main social media platform. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. We don't really fuck with any of those because they suck and they are literally destroying the world, but also because we have no following over there. We really have zero following anywhere outside of IG, and even that's kind of a small following for what we do and how much content we put out. But it is what it is. If you want to get involved, that is the place to go to. If you want to be in this segment where you get honored, you get praised, and you reach Star Wars Time Show immortality, then this is where you actually have to tag us and use our hashtag Star Wars Time Show on Instagram in your Star Wars art, be it toy photography, real ass paint, dioramas, cosplay. It doesn't fucking matter. We love Star Wars. Tag us. We'll look at it. If we find it overly interesting, it'll be featured on our account. And then a week after that, if it's super interesting looking and my man over here picks it, you will make the show in this top 5 Star Wars fan artist features of the week. And this week it is a +1, so I'll have a little shot to share that I found to be quite impressive.
Yes,
so Nick,
indeed.
Without further ado, let's get to it. Who is the first artist to be praised in this week's edition of the top 5?
The first up this week is none other than Super Scoundrel himself, our good buddy Devin. And he hit us with an absolutely beautiful portrayal of Ahsoka Tano with his signature art style. I mean, that's what really, anything Super Scoundrel does has his flair to it, his particular style to it. And that style with Ahsoka really just fucking kills the shot.
Yeah, this is another one where it's like I think I beg every time he's on the show, can we please get that high-end looking, almost 2 foot tall coffee table Super Scoundrel art book stat. Like, come on. I mean, Nick, I don't know if you saw his other interpretations of Miss Tano.
I saw like the red.
Let's just let's take a trip out there and check out Super Scoundrel.
Click over to his account for a second.
I mean, he's got people are making him patches. Like, let me read this. It made some badass, but yeah, like people make stuff for him. You know what they do for us, Nick? They tell us we suck, we take too long, we talk too much, we should do this, we should do that. That's just who we attract, which it makes sense because I'm on the show.
Yeah, this patch that was, I mean, his Mandalorian image was just next level. I believe this made the top 5 as well at the time when it was put out.
That patch is ridiculous.
That patch is sick,
it's fucking
man.
nasty.
It's so good.
But anyways, what we were talking about is Ahsoka. So he actually led with this one. If you're on the live stream, I got it pulled up now. If you're listening on the audio version or the audio only version on your podcasting platform, I'd suggest hitting up Super Scoundrel on Instagram. But he's
at super_scoundrel.
Right. He started with Sisoka.
Yes.
Which was like almost like a Zabrak, like a red, like a Maul style Ahsoka. And then he took out one he just took all the color at it, and that's her gray Jedi, her I am no Jedi stance. And then obviously the one Nick ran with here, the super vibrant standard. I would say this is her Siege of Mandalore look.
Yeah, this is almost a recreation of the box art for Force Unleashed, because you can remember that like Starkiller had he had his arms crossed with
like
two blue sabers lit on the
sabers
side
frame the face and kind of add to its lighting. So yeah, I mean, Super Scoundrel, hands down one of our most favorite real ass painters. I guess we'd call him a real ass vectorer.
Yeah, digital painter.
Because he is the vector art master, but beautiful stuff. Sadly, I think most of our fans like the toy photography, so a lot of times the Star Wars fan art doesn't quite get the reaction that it should.
Yeah.
But I can assure you, any art I share here is primo Star Wars fan art. So
top tier.
At super_scoundrel, hit him up. Great guy, big Star Wars fan, not an asshole.
Yes, not an asshole.
How's that for a recommendation?
All right, so at super_scoundrel, absolutely beautiful work. Next up, we have one of our favorites.
He is the fire starter.
He is the fire starter. We have at Sir Dork 730 on the top 5 here with exactly what you called out, just a fiery representation of both of two of the coolest stormtroopers or First Order troopers you could look at. You have Captain Phasma and then Commander Pyre flanking her to her left, and you can see just surrounded by craziness, just fire everywhere all around them. This reminds me of the end of TLJ when they're on that Super Star Destroyer that's going down. There's just fire everywhere.
Yeah, it's a shit show.
Yeah, I mean, this could almost be like a scene from that, except I think at that point Commander Pyre was already dead.
Oh yeah, he's toast.
But
no, I mean, this is nuts. This is like you said, this is vintage Sir Dork. I mean, anytime I think of Jared now, and I don't know, some of you may be even too young to remember this, but I think this comes from the Crow movie. But in the Crow movie, it's in Detroit, I believe, or whatever. But a lot of the bad people there, they like burning shit. And I believe one of them, there's a chant early on where they're just like, fire it up, fire it up, fire it up. I mean, that's all I hear in my head anytime I come across a Sir Dork shot, in particular this one, because of the use of flames. But in this case, it's not technically just flames. What he did here, because I do... check out Sir Dork outside of just his finished shot. I mean, Jared's one of the best out there for showing you BTS, giving you ideas, and just kind of letting you know how he creates some of this stuff. And this shot, honestly, it's a long exposure. So this is one of those deals where you click shutter. The shutter literally will remain open, taking a picture for sometimes 30 seconds to a minute. If not longer. So while that shutter's open, Jared's sitting there like a madman with fucking sparklers and shit, waving them all through the image. And because the shutter is being snapped so slowly, it's capturing all that. It's basically a light painting job.
Yep.
So it's very interesting how he creates stuff like this. But yeah, I mean, this is 100% Sir Dork. And maybe I've missed it, but I doubt he's done it. But he actually had to move on to a new camera because of the way he shoots.
Oh, wow.
And I told him when I learned that, I was like, dude, you've got to fucking blow up your initial camera, the one that made you famous, the one that took you viral. Like, you've got to Sir Dork it. I mean, I'm talking like fucking nuke the thing on camera, blow it the fuck up, melt it with the blowtorch, something. Because, I mean, people on the internet, we love watching stuff get destroyed. I mean, there was assholes back in the day. I think that real big fat Xbox gamer, Boogie or whatever, he literally became a YouTube celebrity because he smashed his Xbox 360. I think it was the fact that he was a really, really fat guy, and people are like, look at this fat fuck busting shit up, and he just kind of ran with it. But I was like, come on, Jared, fucking blow this thing up in spectacular fashion for YouTube. Do it in the name of views, my son.
I mean, I don't think he's done it yet, but I don't know. Maybe you can convince him. But also, like, wouldn't you want to keep that? It's like, this is what launched my career, my fame and fortune.
Well, I could definitely see that, but it really comes down to the older you get and the more shit you have collected over the years feeling that way.
Yeah, can you afford
when you look at it again, 10, 20 years later, you usually go, why the fuck did I save this? It's taking up room. Having this camera means nothing now, so who gives a shit? I mean, I used to save a lot of sentimental stuff, but now it's like, who fucking cares?
True.
You're not going to care, trust me. We all have to deal with it. I mean, you're not going to care about it 10, 20 years from now, but that's our boy at Sir Dork, still one of the bigger accounts out there that reps us like a motherfucker, so we love him for that. We speak your name, at Sir Dork 730. There
we go. So next up on the top 5 is, I mean, we're kind of going through our greatest hits with the first 3. This one is from at NoseRain on Instagram, and this is a mashup, but not in the way that you can see it like this. This is a perfect mashup between Star Wars and Dracula, because as we all know, so what we see here is we see Obi-Wan Kenobi with his lightsaber lit. This is Jedi Padawan Anakin lifting up the top of a coffin, and then out of the coffin sits up none other than Count Dooku himself. Dude, there are
Yoda off on the side. So many deep references in this shot. There are. Like I'm glad you picked up on. Like I think what Richie was going with here.
Yeah.
I mean, Count Dooku is in a coffin because of Christopher Lee.
Yes.
And Christopher Lee's acting years in horror, in particular as Dracula. Yep. And Nick is 100% right. This coffin comes from Nosferatu himself. This is the Mezco Nosferatu. Yes, I have to say it that way. Coffin. So it's such a deep cut of a toy shot, which is odd to say about toy photography, but it goes well beyond just the excellent shot we see at the surface. Like the intention Richie had here at NoseRain is way deeper than just getting some Jedi and a former Jedi together in a room and using a coffin prop.
Yeah, it's that level of insight into Christopher Lee's career and the Nosferatu, the Dracula reference and everything like that. And even just the, with Anakin and Obi-Wan essentially being vampire hunters, like they were Sith hunters in the prequel trilogy, It's the perfect lineup of characters, and you almost have Yoda in the back like Igor,
Exactly, like peering in. So
yeah,
it just, I mean, that is NoseRain though. I mean, this guy, he's the one that, he came on the scene, he knew right away that he knew what he was doing, and then you also now understand why has such a following. Yeah. I mean, some of the sets he prints, some of the accessories he'll print out, like little fucking shoe boxes and whatnot. Another one that does that, Plastic Action. I mean, he just did a deal with Lady Foot Locker because of his toy photography.
Wow, that's nuts.
And he printed out like little fucking shoes for him, little Nike boxes. It's like, holy shit. Like the stuff some of these guys have now, what I would say, they've moved into pro toy photography, kind of like 1/6 shooter, where you're actually getting commissioned work from retailers, from companies wanting you to help them with promotions. And I know NoseRain, he could do all that stuff, but it's just like the imagination these people have to even cook up a concept like this. I've said it 1,000 times. It's probably getting annoying to those of you that listen every week. I don't even know if it's a knock on me at this point. it ain't there, and it's never going to be there, and it's okay. I would never sit here. I could have as much free time as possible. I would never sit here and be like, you know what? I just thought about a brilliant idea. I'm going to use Dooku as a vampire because of Christopher Lee. Yeah, that works. Okay. But then I'm going to have Jedi kind of be the vampire hunter. Oh, yeah. Oh, and that Nosferatu accessory, that's going to work. Here we go. Bing, bada, boom. We have I'd call this an intelligent toy photography shot.
Photography. Yeah,
Yes.
no, I agree. Like the level of intelligence with this shot is very
nuanced to hell and back. I mean, just beautiful stuff. Hopefully you listen, Richie. I know you saw we tagged you, and I did ask you kindly to remember to use the tag, because honestly, we don't. On our Star Wars account, we don't see Richie's stuff at all anymore. I mean, it's just been buried by the algorithm. So.
The IG algo has destroyed us again.
Right. So it is beyond my narcissism. A lot of times we can't see your Star Wars work, and that goes out to all of you. So please, outside of feeding my narcissism, just do it so we can see some of your shots. Because if you're not doing it regularly and I'm not liking your shots every day, guess what? IG is going to go, hey, just because Star Wars Time Show is following Nose Rain, well, they're not interacting with anything, so that's basically means they're not following them. See ya.
That's true. Yep, it's fucked up, but that's how
it's how it works these days, people. So any of us that put the please comment, it is to encourage, even if you just do a like or a heart or a share, IG sees that as, okay, humans are valuing this post, which means the algo should maybe let it grow a bit. There is some worth to it. Otherwise, it's a piece of shit. You suck. Go to hell.
Yep. So, add Nose Rain. Perfect shot here. I mean, literally like a perfect toy photography shot here. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful work. Next up, we have another representation of our girl, Ahsoka Tano, from @A_Dominguez11. And this one it's a toy photography shot, so it's not vector art and digital painting like we see from Devin earlier in the top 5. But what really stands out to me here is just the beautiful work done with the post on the lightsaber effects towards the bottom of the hilt, and then also the lighting on her face. More specifically, it almost looks like he went in and intentionally lit her tattoos more.
I'm going to guess, Nick, that he probably went in and dodged that. That's a term. If you dodge something, you lighten it up. Apparently, it all relates back to actual real photography. You had burning and dodging. So burning made stuff darker. Dodging lightens it up. So I'm assuming you just went in there and kind of wiped around the whites of her eyes and some of her face paint there. Yeah. Is that paint, or that's actually...
I think it's
part
tattoos
of them, or are they tattoos? I guess we never knew.
Yeah, I think it's tattoos, but it also may be like birth markings.
Yeah, because I know Shakti, they all have kind of different looking ones. But I'm with you, and I think that's what makes the shot really pop. Is just it's almost making the white too white, but it works because of how the rest of the shot is kind of crafted, and it really, your eyes just go right to her eyes, her face. The framing is great. Honestly, we had 2 fantastic Ahsoka portraits last week. I think the other one was from the Coral Pulse. And then this one.
I almost put that one in there too, but I'm like, it's just going to be all Ahsoka.
Right. It's I think they were back to back. I think Coral Pulse, I featured them one day. This one was the next day. Both beautiful shots, but yeah, this one here by @A_Dominguez, blah blah blah, just high quality stuff, and it is @ADOMINGUEZLAVIN.
Yep.
@Dominguez11, as Nick said.
Dominguez11, yeah. Alfonso Dominguez11 that's his name.
But I believe we've talked about him before. He does some Lego stuff too. It looks like getting into Black Series now, but just quality portrait. Love it.
Very, very good stuff. So the final of our top 5, before we get to the Matt top 1, is from Operators of the Republic. He is a fantastic account to follow, and he shoots what his name suggests he shoots. He shoots clones in particular, and this one here, Blitz, our commander, it almost looks like a product shot. Like, it's so well done,
right,
that the fucking makers of this, I don't know if this is a Hot Toys or what it is, they should take this shot and use it in their marketing.
Yeah,
like,
so
this is beautiful.
Here's
work.
my stab on Operators of Republic. I believe he customizes 1/6 scale. I'm pretty sure all these are 1/6 scale that he customizes. I don't know how many he owns at this point. I don't even know if he's just going in and doing it in Photoshop. Either way, all of his little clone creations or the characters he's created are fantastic, as Nick said. I mean, he is very good at doing the action portrait. He also does some pretty sweet lineup shots too, like squad shots.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm on his account now. And
yeah, I'll head out there on the live stream myself.
Rancor Battalion, he has a squad shot here, and they look fucking incredible, man. Like this shot here where you see 4 of his customized clone troopers.
I got to pull it up now. That's what I mean. I mean, look at that shit.
I mean, this guy is an absolute monster when it comes to these, like he does incredible post-processing effects on the shots, and he does awesome customization work as well. I mean, just really beautiful stuff here all around. And like I said, if you are a marketer and you're, or if you're a toy maker like Hot Toys or something like that, having like a squad lineup shot like this to market your material would be fucking awesome.
I mean, and he's not bullshitting, because we all, at least those of you that are hardcore SWTSs, Nick doesn't give 2 flying fucks about the toys and collecting the shit like myself and a lot of you do. So the fact that Nick is sitting here popping wood and talking like he'd go out and buy these figures just goes to show you, the quality of shot Operators puts out with these it's still crazy to say custom 1/6 scale figures. Yeah. Because I mean, he's essentially taking up $200+ figures and marking them up, painting them, breaking them, chipping them. You never know. I mean,
doing his own thing. Like, fuck whatever came in the box. Like, I
know he at least pays attention, because anytime we feature, he's always very gracious about it. I don't know if he'll listen. Hopefully he does. But I want to know, like, how many do you own, Operators? Yeah. My guess at this point, you've got close to 50 1/6 scale clone trooper figures.
It's crazy.
Is that correct, or do you repaint some? I don't know. Hopefully you're listening. Hopefully you'll reply back. If he does, I'll fill people in our Discord in between a week, and if I remember, I'll talk about it next week. But yeah, I mean, a fun account for the 1/6 scale, and definitely if you like seeing unique 1/6 scale, because I mean he's got the balls to fuck with those things, and I've lit off some fireworks by my 1/6 scale, and that gets me antsy, because obviously you could fucking burn the shit out of it, but fundamentally painting, chipping, taking armor pieces, that's like, oh boy, that makes me feel a little itchy, but
he does it, and he does it well.
Yeah, great account either way.
All right, so that takes us to your top 1 of the week, Matt. So tell us who you got and what we got.
Oh, we just had Old Architect Customs join. I'm giving him a shout out, Nick, because he's the one that bought the first hoodie.
There we go.
Yes, and he did a great story on Instagram. OAC's been a good friend to us lately, and now that he's kind of caught the SWTS funk, he's definitely keyed in and a loyal foot soldier, if you will. So
there we go. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the stream. It might be at the end, but you can always rewatch the 2 hours and 40 minutes of nonsense that we just blew out of our orifices before you showed up. So all right, getting on to my top 1. Yes, it is a top 1. We don't call it an honorable mention. We rotate through things. I still have not paid off on my promise to start soliciting submissions from the community. This is now 2 weeks straight. We're on the show. I've committed to getting the graphic out to start soliciting shots from those of you who want me to break them down with a little more honesty than just all glowing praise like we do in the top 5. Maybe I'll do that in between now and next week's show. You never know. But this is a Matt top 1 week. So I went with a shot from an account that is at least new to us, but just a fantastic creation here from @Zane Reese Props. on Instagram. And it's just, it's a top-down shot of the march of the 501 to the Jedi Temple.
Yep.
And I do believe it's figure-based. I think he has some digital action going in there, maybe even some CG additions to kind of make the paint a little more vibrant. But really what sells it here, first off, the perspective is just super unique. I mean, it's like a drone shot of Anakin's march up the steps.
It mirrors the movie scene too, because you almost get this exact angle at one point when they're looking down on them, kind of going in the temple.
Right.
So, yeah.
But the great little touch here that really kind of sells the shot. And if you look, Nick, I mean, this thing did over 1,000 just on our account. I mean, we haven't had features get many likes for a few months, so... I mean, the Zane shot on our account did over 1,000. That goes to show you that IG loved this because of its unique look and feel. But what I'm talking about, he's got the actual Vader silhouette behind Anakin.
I mean, beautiful.
Yeah. So it's just a badass concept to come up with, and then the way Zane executed it. It's perfectly. I mean, if you want to be a dickhead, you could be like, well, Anakin was wearing his robe at this point in time. But it's not even worth talking about. I mean, this shot's fucking money. I love it. To me, it's the perspective is probably my favorite, because someone that does toy photography, a lot of times we kind of get locked into our zone, our thing, if you will. I mean, my thing's portraits, usually lining up the figure to favor one side or the other, trying to hit my rule of 3, and there you go. I just told you my crazy tips.
There you go.
For my shitty shots.
The secrets.
But you just never know. And like, so a lot of times my shots are always going to be front on, hopefully tilted up a little bit, because typically when you're shooting toys or smaller subjects, you want the camera to be looking up at them. It gives them a little bit more scale and size, makes them feel a little more real. So when I see toy shots that kind of break away from that mentality, they always stand out. And I don't know. I love this top-down look. I like the polish on the clones, and obviously the nice little touch there with Vader's shadow trailing the body of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible execution and thought process here with this shot. And definitely give this guy a follow. I mean, it's a brand. I don't know if it's a new account.
Right, either brand new or just got into the hobby, because we're talking 167 followers, only 77 posts. This shot on Zane's account, 117 likes versus the 1,000 we got on ours. So I'm hoping, as was that? Fuck. Our buddy in Discord, Lima 4.
Yes.
I mean, he's actually pointed out, like, because he's an SEO master, so he understands. He's like, listen, anytime you guys feature me, I can actually see I start to get more traction on IG because of Star Wars Time Show.
Well, there you go. So, hopefully that's true for everybody.
Yeah, I hope we've at least passed a few follows to Zane Reese Props on IG. If you're just hearing about now or seeing the shot now, go follow this dude at ZANEREESEPROPS.
Yep, he's definitely getting a hang of the craft. You can see that even over his last few shots, he's starting to get a feel for like.
Don't worry, the next one you're seeing there, Nick, that is already in the to be featured folder, which is now over 200 shots, because you motherfuckers keep getting better and better at this hobby. So
I like his style. I like, the way that what he's just. I don't know if it's just like he's just figured it out, but like this filtering or like this kind of painting he does on the troopers that give them this really unique look. I like that a lot. So
yeah, I'm digging this account. I'm expecting big things out of it, and as we like to say, we will be watching his career with great interest.
Yeah And that's what we're here for. Hopefully on the Star Wars Time Show, when we feature you guys or you girls or anything like that, when we feature anybody on our account, we hope to get a little bit of a bump for y'all on your personal accounts.
Let's be real.
That's our aim with this segment here.
Yeah, that's what we say in public. But in reality, we do this because we knew it would generate an audience for us. It was kind of cheating, but we actually do love it too. And we do love and enjoy other Star Wars fans that aren't dickheads or doomcocks. And like I'm hoping you all do for us, we want to help you as well. So if we can get you some traction on IG and fight the dirty algo, then get in on the fun at Star Wars Time Show on Instagram, hashtag Star Wars Time Show. I think our hashtag, Nick, we're approaching like 40,000 uses. I would say 30,000 of them are from me and doing all the fucking features every morning, but it's growing, and we do grow. I bitch about, like I said, I'm never going to be satisfied. It's just going to happen one day. I can't really tell you a number, but there will be a time, I hope, that I'm just like, finally, I can shut the fuck up. I can quit being a little whiny baby. But that day is not now. It is now time to do the dance and to hopefully sell our souls for the Star Wars Time Show to get more of an audience. We want thousands of views on our live streams. We want thousands of downloads and listens on our podcasts. We want Spotify to give us $90 million to come over there and do our stupid ass show. But that can't happen unless we get more loyal followers. So those of you that have drank the Kool-Aid, if you're a christened Fandalorian, if you're an asshole, we do love you and we do speak your name, but you need to start going out there and motivating other people to become like you. Maybe not as big a dickheads like a lot of you, but to have the passion for the Star Wars Time Show. We see it. We speak your names that do it. We need more, though. Take that 30 ratings on iTunes and at least get me to 50. Take the lousy 540 subs on YouTube and get us to 1,000. Take the 2,000 downloads a month across our podcasting platforms and take us to 5. You don't owe us much. We don't ask for much. We just ask for your fealty, your loyalty, and you to go out and brainwash and gaslight other dummies into listening to us, okay? It's not much. You're almost going to force me to put the fucking Patreon shit up here, okay? It's getting there. Because I'm starting to think now, if we charge people, they'll think we're more important than we are. That seems to be the trick. I don't get it. I never got people charging Patreons when they don't have a fucking following. It makes no sense to me. But that seems to be what everyone does. Hell, might as well start a GoFundMe and say Nick's sick. We'll get some attention that way. America's healthcare system. Go fund us. We need the Star Wars Time Show healthcare system. Go fund the Star Wars Time Show. All right, I'm just kidding, people. We just want you to come in, have some fun. You can do that by going to StarWarsTime.net. That's where we have all the links you need to know if you are new to this shit show. Up there at the top, subscribe to podcasts. That's going to have all your platforms for you, at least the ones that matter. If we're not on your platform's stupid, okay? That's all I can say at this point in time. Although I do think now Amazon is allowing it, so I'll probably have to fucking figure that shit out. But you can also get in with our YouTube channel right down there. Just scroll down the site a little bit. See that? If you're on the live stream, look at that. Subscribe. If you click on it, it will subscribe for you. You don't even have to hit another button. And we need those. Pump it up. If you are on YouTube and you are watching the dumb videos, like them. Leave a comment. Remember, we have to tell the social media overlords that we are important. The only way to do that is by interacting with the stupid content we put out. Capiche? You got it? Thank you. And you may ask yourself, well, why would I want to do that? Well, we know here, Nick knows it, the Fando knows it, there's always time for Star Wars time, first and foremost. If you're a Star Wars fan worth your salt, there is always time for Star Wars time. And also, if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you. Always.